Hello and welcome to our live stream, our community live stream this evening. I'm waiting to go live on Rockfin. I'm a little nervous this evening, if you couldn't tell. We have two guests coming on this evening who all three of us have personal stories to share about the man and the work that we're here to honor tonight. And that would be Jordan Maxwell, checking in on the Rockfin stream. And it seems to be going. So, yay. Thank you so much. I hope you can hear me. If there are any problems with the stream, hi, Phil Strange 369, and hello, Frank Monday. If there are any problems with this stream, please let me know in either the Rockfin or the YouTube chat. And so this is our night, guys. This is our night as a community to come together and in memoriam and to remember a man some of us have met and others of us have known through his work and had his voice in our mind, guiding us, helping us to understand this time and place that we have incarnated into. And of course, he was a warrior in exposing corruption, especially in politics in Washington, D.C., and American politics. So thank you, Frank, and thank you, Phil. And hey, Durple Hayes, welcome to the chat room. And Durple Hayes says, here we go. I know how to do this. I learned a lot from Jordan's work. What a legend. And this explains why my hands are sweating and I'm so very, very nervous. The last 48 hours of my life, I have been immersed in Jordan's work and really working so hard. I just don't even want to describe it to you, to put this evening together for all of us. I think it's very important to honor these rituals of birth and graduations and of passing. And I know you guys feel the same way, and that we have these deep feelings as emotional and intuitive humans that we need ceremony to help us get through, especially as a community. So I just wanted to say hello to everyone and that I'm here, and we're going to have a little countdown. If you do know a Jordan Maxwell friend or fan, please invite them to join us for this stream or share the link with them so that they may enjoy it later. Okay, guys. So like I said, I'm really nervous. My hands are sweaty. So I'm going to, bow out gracefully, and we're going to go into our countdown.
tears. They hadn't been near me for years. Say, why do it now when I won't be around? I'm going out. To love us too hard. We wait for your only tragedy allows the release of love and grief. Never normally seen. I didn't want to let them see me weak. I didn't want to let them see me weak. But I know I've shown that I stand at the gates alone. I needed you to love me too hard. I wait for your all the love, all the love, all the love you should have given. All the love, all the love, all the love we could have given. All the love, all the love, all the love. The next time I dedicate my life's work to the friends I make, I give them what they want to hear. They think I'm up to something weird and up is the head of fear. So now when they ring, I get my machine to let them in. I needed you to love me too hard. I wait for your all the love, all the love, all the love you should have given. All the love, all the love, all the love we could have given. All the love, all the love, all the love.
Take care. Toodaloo. Bye then. Bye for now then. Bye. Later. Bye. Cheerio. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye. See ya. Bye. Bye. Cheers. See ya. Bye. Goodbye. I'll see you soon. Good night.
Well, my goodness, it looks like the gang's all here right on time. So I was expecting my guests a little bit later, which is amazing that everybody's here. Hey, guys, introduce yourselves. You're professionals.
Are we?
Trying to be. I'm TruthSeekah, for those of you who don't know. Spiritual, esoteric hip-hop artist and author, entrepreneur, meditation guru, spiritual experiencer, psychonaut, all those cool things. TruthSeekah.com. That's who I am. Who's this guy?
Who's this guy? I'm Micha Dank. I literally just rolled off another podcast and came here. I'm an astrotheologist. Jordan Maxwell has completely changed my life. I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't have an 8-book series dedicated to it. I wouldn't be currently with my publicist pitching it to TV heads to try and bring it awaken to the masses if it wasn't for him. That's it. I'm an author. I don't rap, but I'll leave that to truth. But that's me. That's me in a nutshell. I'm sure some of you got out there. I got to give a shout out to somebody, though. I got to give a shout out to Truth and my friend Rachel, who is bringing her crew in to watch this with us. So shout out to Rachel.
Rachel's crew. Hi. Say hi, TruthSeekah.
Hey, what's up, Rachel?
Thank you. Thanks for joining us, you guys.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I was like, I'm a little tired. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. And then I clicked in and I'm in your waiting room and I'm watching the video and it's a picture of Jordan and there's candles and there's a Kate Bush song. And I'm like, oh, I'm so ready for this. It completely like changed my mood immediately.
Good. I was so nervous. Like if you ever had a really bad nicotine fit?
Yeah, all the time.
That's what this felt like. Like, oh. So how about you, TruthSeekah? How was your day earlier?
So I had to do something on my own channel for Jordan. I totally wanted to do it, but I had to put something on my channel too. And I went live about 3 hours ago doing something and let it all out, man. Tears and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, Jordan is God, he's living on through us. If we really understand not just the sentiment that means, but that literally he is eternal through our words and through our beliefs and through our impact. And we pay that homage and pay that forward. It means so much. Yeah.
It's the true passing of the torch in the traditional ancient mystery school way, right?
And it's even more so amazing if you think about it, guys. He's been doing this. He did this since 1959. Can you imagine? We have the internet where if we dig deep enough, we could find true astrotheology. And now we've got people like Santos and people like me or people like Truth who talk about it. But to think that Jordan would pretty much go through encyclopedias and go to the library to put this all together is insane to me. Like, how do you even begin that? That's insane to me.
I agree. We're honoring all of him, like his entire life, his mission and how he did it and how he pulled it all off.
It was different, and it's going to be different for the next generation to come. What are they going to do? When it's, we're entering times where people are stepping into the conversation of just holding a book and getting the download of what that information contains.
I don't know.
It's really crazy.
It's called osmosis.
Yes. I don't know if you guys feel the same way as I do, but between him and Santos, they changed my life. And I was lucky enough I do teach for Santos' syncretism school right now. And because of Truth, I helped him get on Coast to Coast. And then when he found out I wanted to talk to Jordan, he facilitated that. Me and Jordan developed a friendship towards the end of his life. And it meant the world to me. And I don't know how you guys feel, but I mean, Truth, you being like an esoteric rapper and a mystic and everything, and me as an astrotheologist and what I do, I hope that what I do is not that I'm recognized for what I do primarily. I hope that what I do is inspire someone else to have that flame lit like Jordan lit under me, and then go beyond anything that I'm teaching and go and really like wow me. Do you know what I mean? Like I want to inspire people to the same. I don't know if you guys feel that same way, but that's kind of how I feel.
Well, what does inspire mean? Let's go to Maxwell school and look at etymology. In spirit, it's inspired, put that fire into others, but it's really just igniting that spark. If they have to have that little jewel within, and then you come by with your flaming fire and that lights up their jewel and they can see it for themselves.
True.
Man, his Most people don't get it. Most people don't get it, you know, and that's what Jordan got.
Yes.
Jordan got that most people don't get it. And it was a common bond that, you know, I think that we all share. You know, what's understood doesn't have to be explained. And the beauty of what Jordan, I think, represented for me was like him studying what they're trying to keep secret from us and giving it to the masses. They think you're too stupid to get this, but here it is. How many of you can get it, right? Those kind of things. And so, which is what, like, I think Spirit teaches us, you know. So Jordan was definitely, tapped into that from a generation before us. Which goes a long way. You know, the clergy doesn't think that you're smart enough to know who the ancient gods are. The Catholic Church is worshiping the ancient gods, but you get religion.
Amen Ra, brother. Amen Ra.
The Freemasons are worshiping the ancient gods, but you get tradition. You get signs and symbols. And so Jordan was like, no, let me bring to the public, let me bring to the table what these people are hiding from the masses and who they're really worshiping and what Christmas is really about, what Easter is really about, where it comes from, the origin, because these people think that you're too stupid to get it. And the weird thing is that they're kind of partly right. The masses don't give a damn about these things that we hold so beautiful. And we want to know the origins. We want to know where these things came from. And Jordan did too. And
they're sacred.
He did the sacred.
It's the sacred versus the profane. And that is the muggles versus the magicals.
Yeah.
He did the work and just gave it to us and said, hey, let the cards fall where they may. And it
you
fell
know what?
upon our lot, you know.
He was pretty prophetic with his everyday addressing us, where he says, you better wake up, you better do your homework. I love that when he just kept saying that. Or in my first book, I actually one of his quotes is one of my favorite quotes, and I put it to start a chapter in my first book. And it said, imagine that you're asleep and someone shines a 600-watt light bulb directly in your face. The first thing you're going to do is be startled.
Yeah.
Right? The first thing you're going to do is be startled. The next thing you're going to be, because someone who's much more intellectually bright than you has shined a light on you. Next, you're going to be angry because you don't want to have to think. You know, he was deep. He was deep.
That's that block of the ego, that defense mechanism system where you go blah, blah, blah. And the ego goes, no way. No matter what it is, because it's an automatic response. It's hilarious. He was always pointing out those foibles in us. And that really helped me have more of a straighter spine and act like I knew, you know?
Listen, I interviewed Jordan early on. Like I say early on in you know, my walk, and it was around 2012 or so when I started my podcast, and there were times where I had to cut Jordan off, like it was just too much, you know, it was too much that he was bringing to the table, and I say that to say that I couldn't handle it, you know, with my doctrine or my, you know, dogma and my religious upbringing, hence where the masses and majority couldn't handle Jordan. There's, you know, 2 or 3 interviews where I'm like, all right, Jordan, appreciate you coming on. We'll do it again, brother. And I'm just quick, you know, and I go on there like, oh, wow, that was wild. And Jordan didn't care. He let the chips fall where they may. Truth needs not your opinion nor your approval.
Right.
It doesn't need you to agree with it. It is ancient, it is esoteric, and it is new as well. New age, or it's what is to come. If it's any truth to what this man has shown us, it is something that's very ancient and it's universal for everyone. Doesn't matter what age that you step up and you bring it to the table. So his words were very, very hard for me early on. There was only so far that I was willing to go, but over the years, you know, you come a little bit further and take that next step and a little bit deeper, and you ask and you think and you wrestle with those things. But then in the end, you're blessed because you finally get, wow, this is what this man gave his life for.
Totally.
He gave his life for this stuff, and he really believed in it.
And his delivery of his information, the way he delivered it, was so perfect, because it was from a place of knowing, and it was a place of he didn't give a shit who thought that he wasn't right. You know, you better wake up, you better go do your homework. You know, I remember the first video I saw of him, where he was talking about how everything goes back to the planet Saturn, and I had never even heard of that. Like, I was on my spiritual journey since I was in my 20s, and I'd never heard of anything until that video that I watched him, and he talked about everything, and then he talked about that verse in the Bible where the disciples go and ask Jesus, you know, when you're gone, where do we celebrate the next Passover? And he tells them to go into town and find the man with the water pitcher. He linked that to Aquarius. That was the very first part of astrotheology I ever learned. And that was back in about 2013, 2012 that I heard that. And it just snowballed from there. You know, it changed my whole life. You know, I was in logistics. I was a logistics coordinator. You know, I didn't have any esoteric knowledge. It lit a fire under me. You know, it turned me into a writer, you know?
Me and
that could be the new Max Factor.
Yeah.
Me and Micha had an interview. He was on my podcast a couple months ago, and I'm big on this, and I've been big on this. But give your roses to the people, like, while they're here. Let people know where you got it from, because we know there's so many people in our community who bite off and steal people's hard work and put their name on it and act like they came up with it, or was it download, or they got it. And they literally took notes from a Jordan Maxwell video. And there's many people in this circle. You can name their names. If you know anything, you can name them. Right. And I'm big on
Colin Smith.
I named his name earlier. Colin is 100%.
We're on the same team. I love it.
Billy Carson's one of them. I know he's big,
No. He says that Thoth is Hermes, and that's wrong. Billy Carson.
Well, just the idea of him stealing a meme and putting his name on it. Like, come on. So people are teaching astrotheology, and people are teaching the Mazzaroth. Listen, my Christian friends in the churches are teaching the zodiac, and it's in the Bible, and the Pleiades, and they're teaching all this. I'm like, hold on, cite your sources, man.
Please.
Where did you guys get this from? And they won't say his name.
But you know what happens?
Jordan Maxwell. And I'm like, you gotta listen. You gotta let these people know. Well, they won't listen to us if we tell it. We'll run people away and all those kind of things. And I'm like, listen, man, you got to give these people their roses, man. I'm big on that.
Well, it's their laurels in Greek. That's what you say. Don't rest on your laurels. You keep going.
You know what's sorry. You know what's I
came across Jordan Maxwell through being a pagan. And of course, everything Jordan was saying in his talks and his books was pagans would agree with. Yeah, we know where Easter came from. So the thing about Jordan was he wasn't a New Age teacher. He wasn't even an occult teacher, in my opinion. He was the researcher, the one that gave me more of the conspiracy world. You know, here I am being a priestess, and a lot of that. And when you're a priestess, you're very traditional, and you're kind of stuck in the past in many ways. And it's very hard to orient yourself to your current time that you've incarnated in. And with the help of Jordan Maxwell, I really got oriented with the time I was in. And he actually showed me what people don't know that I knew at 14. Understand, I do that stuff because that's what my mission is.
Articulating your downloads. Like literally, a lot of us like intuitively knew a lot of this stuff, but we didn't have the phrasing. We didn't have the proof or the Jordan like went into the Bible and showed you where the morning stars and Lucifer and Venus and listen, I'm telling you, like, I didn't know that the zodiac was in the Bible. I mean, the epiphany that happened when Jordan showed me that the Mazzaroth was the zodiac, this thing that the church had told me was demonic, was like literally named in it opened up a whole new realm of conversation, to say the least. And so
the thing
you gotta
about
give these people their roses.
The thing about these like Billy Carsons and the Colin, whatever his name is, there was a movie that came out. It was called The Water Boy with Adam Sandler. You guys remember that?
Yeah, it's the devil.
Yeah. But do you remember Henry Winkler played the coach, and the other coach stole his playbook. But he only had his playbook. And then when Henry Winkler started to wake up again, he started to come up with new plays, and the coach had no answers for him. That's how it is with these people. When they take other people's work, if they didn't have the divine spark inspiration to start doing new works and to forge their own way, all they're doing is retelling things and hiding where it comes from. But they're not the ones putting out new information. They're not the ones going deep. They're not the ones going through Bible verse through verse looking for this stuff.
That's what Jordan represented. That's what Jordan represented. He would say your pastors are just repeating what they've been told. They don't know where this stuff comes from. I do. We do. And we can cite our sources. We can tell you that where this comes from, who they're worshiping, Saturn, and man, all of this stuff. And if for me, coming from the Christian church, it was offensive to me, at first. But now everything's come full circle, and now it's so beautiful that someone would give their life so that you would know the truth and be able to make a decision. Like, how deep are you willing to go? Are you willing to give up your dogma? Are you willing to give up your following? Are you if you're married to truth, you're willing to travel wherever truth takes you. And that's the pursuit of many people listening to this right now, is that they're willing to go wherever the truth or the light takes them. And that's
the
what
whole
Jordan Maxwell represented.
It's the whole 600-watt light bulb thing. Everybody's got that moment where they're just faced with the uncomfortable truth. What do you do in that moment? Do you retreat back into your comfort zone, or do you... Jordan Peterson, and I don't usually like quoting him, but he has a quote, and I'm sure it's not original, but he says that the pathway to enlightenment is necessitated through a pathway through hell. And that's why there's not so many enlightened people. Because
I always say that stuff.
But if you only come to a point of enlightenment, or you only come to a point from that, you have to burn down your previous bridges, how you were built up before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It completely changes your world. It's like they said in quantum physics. Bohr said, if you don't understand it, then if you're not disturbed, you don't understand it. It's the same thing here. Like, I think what hurts people the most is not that they're not open to this information, but that they like to believe in hugs and kisses from mommy and daddy, and they think that extends to the world. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, the thought that they have been lied to their entire life is way too painful to face.
Well, you have a lot of people who get into this and they get some secret information. They get a little bit of truth, and now they've already got it all figured out. And it's like the first mention, the rule of first mentions, like, comes to play in their life. Who the Nephilim are, who Saturn is, who the Catholic Church is, who Jesus is, right? And so you get a little bit of deeper understanding, and that's it. It was like, hold on, wait. Like, most of us hang on to that for years, like this first esoteric knowledge and articulating it. But hold on, like, are you willing to go ... deeper? And most of us aren't, or it takes years for us to be married to the truth and say, okay, I'm willing to even sacrifice everything that I thought I knew and I've been teaching. Like, I've been teaching that this was the secret, beautiful truth hidden from the masses, but even that is just a cover-up for the deeper esoteric truths of reality, where we came from, what happens when we die, all of these bigger questions that humanity's asking, And so that's a process, for sure. That's a process. And Jordan definitely went down that process, and that again, not caring what people thought. Truth don't need you to agree with it. At the end of the day, it is what it is, whether it makes you happy or sad, to be honest with you, I'm emotional. I didn't know I was going to be emotional about this, I didn't, but like, at the end of Jordan's life, and I say, man, the last 12 years or so, like, one thing shook me with Jordan. So I have a small, like, membership thing that I do with my community and stuff on Thursday nights or whatever. We hang out and we just roll ideas. It's a small community kind of thing. And I'd surprise them from time to time. I hit Jordan up. Hey, Jordan, can you come and say hello to my students and to my community? Oh, yeah, I can come. I'll send them a link. Boom, Jordan Maxwell. Here's all these people just hanging out, talking, rolling esoteric ideas. And then the godfather of esoteric mysticism joins in. It's like, Jordan Maxwell, I get to ask him a question like randomly on a Thursday night. And so Jordan would drop jewels, man, and just pow. And but he would, you know, I'd be straight. I know, I guess on a Rockfin, it doesn't matter where we are, but Jordan knew what was coming. He's always known this.
Oh yeah.
And I remember him talking to my group of woke individuals before. This was probably October 2019, to be honest with you, and he told us about what was coming. Riots and wars and death and famine and Trump and all. He told us what was coming, and we didn't believe him. We were trying to find a bright side.
Why didn't you believe him, guys? I don't understand.
Because I remember one of my friends was like, the people would never go for that, Jordan. The people would never go for this stuff you're talking about, and they were like arguing with Jordan. And I'm trying to find like a bright way to spend it, you know.
Right.
Hold on, Jordan. There's hope, brother. We're gonna people are gonna wake up. You know, we're gonna win in the end, which I still believe.
In
honestly,
the end, but that whole thing about having to go through hell to get to heaven.
And I recorded those conversations. Like I have Zoom recorded video calls, and part of me was like, should I release it? But I was like, nah, I'm not gonna, because it's too scary. It's gonna provoke fear. It's gonna incite hysteria, which is what all these.
You were a gatekeeper. You were a gatekeeper.
I mean, it's a dime a dozen conspiracy hellacious videos.
Married to truth.
But hey, he was right.
I know he's right. That's the point.
You want to talk about giving someone their roses when they're here. You want to talk about that? What about the Wachowski brothers or sisters or whatever you want to call them? What about Peter Joseph and the Zeitgeist? What about the Matrix? What about all that? None of that's possible without Jordan's work. None of it. People don't realize that.
Zeitgeist was a key for me as well. For many people.
It was cool.
But I was a devout church-going Christian. That shook our community of Christian truth seekers, like devoted to truth. And then the Zeitgeist comes out. I mean, that was like an earthquake, trying to figure out that stuff, you know. And Zeitgeist messed up a lot of people. There's a lot of people today, even who, if I mention Jordan's name, they denounce me because those videos mess with them so much that they was never able to recalibrate after being punched in the mouth with that kind of truth, man. And I was too.
Derek,
Everything came full circle for me though. And I'm trying to pay that forward to my community as well.
So TruthSeekah, I've never had that kind of pressure from fans before. So I really don't know what you're going through. So I want to apologize, but still, it felt like gatekeeping to me.
No. It's like, hold on. Like, I want to find a good way. Like, I'm a person of hope. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, I know we're finna go through some hard stuff. We couldn't see it. Yeah. I don't think anybody could have seen what Jordan was saying.
I did. Scary. I said it to my audience.
Scary.
They heard it.
Scary stuff.
Well, it's war. It's spiritual war. Yeah. And this is the one. And we should be happy about that because we've been through so many lifetimes where it was just one war after the other. This is the end war. So we should actually be pretty excited and we should be in our top form.
Well, you know that Jordan was he was an agent to close out the Age of Pisces, which was known as the Age of Deception.
He even looked like a Pisces, even though he wasn't.
Now we moved into, he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then we moved into the Age of Aquarius now, which is the Age of Enlightening, where all this stuff is going to explode.
Yeah. You know, he never gave that aspect though. So that's what me and my community represent. Hold on, man, it's gonna get good on the other side, you know.
But he wasn't gonna be here for that, so why would he teach it?
Exactly. And so that's where we pick up the torch.
Yeah, that's it. And there's a quote from about the torch bearers from Plato, I think, if somebody could look that up. But let's take a break, guys. We're going to take a very small break, but we're going to play Jordan Maxwell. And I think that this is the one.
Can I just jump in real quick before
you
play
please.
Something? 2 seconds.
Yes.
I'm watching these comments in the group right now that are chatting. There's not a whole lot of people talking, but I want to thank all of you guys for being here and being part of this with us, okay? Because I don't think I'm hoping that this hits you as hard as it hit us. But, you know, we're laying it out all on the line for you guys tonight. Like, none of us, this conversation doesn't happen with the three of us. We don't know each other without Jordan. None of this stuff happens.
That's right. That's right.
So,
Sure.
so we want all of you guys to just try and, you know, respect his memory. Maybe in the comments section, put your favorite quote from him or something that he said. Maybe we could do that. We could start reading those. But guys, get involved. Let's start talking.
I love that. Thank you so much. And so this is going to be a little clip from Free Your Mind. And if I'm right, this is also the sing-along, which I will bring us back on screen for when that comes around. But I sent you an itinerary, guys, in your Twitter feed, in your private message. So add this. And then, so this is going to be Jordan Maxwell.
Okay, so unfortunately, Jordan cannot be here in person. Good question. But he's going to do a live original Skype presentation, and it's going to be. All right, Mary, you ready to call him? You guys ready to call him? All right, here we go. Now I'm going to put you guys on camera too. Is he going to pick up? Don't worry, I talked to him right before this. He's in the bathroom, yeah, right.
More calling Orson. Come in, Orson.
Say hello. Hi, Jordan.
Hi there. You hear me?
We sure can. What are you in, a sandwich?
About time. So anyway, where are we? What are we doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, Jordan Maxwell. Jordan,
Well,
why are you
thank-
not here? First question.
Say it again?
Why are you not here with us? We want you to be here.
Well, I haven't been old here in a long time to start with. 75 years old, and it's dangerous now in my own country for me to go anywhere, so I stay home and stay out of the way, because I've traveled all over the world and did the best I could. And so now I find it to be safer just to stay home and stay out of the way, because all the things that I've been warning about for the last 55 years are now finally here, and I'm really not up to it. So I just stay home and stay out of the way. I'm too old and too tired to fight anymore. Only thing I have to give to the world is knowledge. Advice, I don't really have a whole lot, but I do the best I can. I do radio shows, and I don't do a whole lot of them either. Hold on just a minute. I do radio shows on occasions now, but not a whole lot. And I thought at one time I would like to do my own show, and I have a podcast, but I haven't been able to do much on that, for a long time now, because I'm being I'm being attacked from all sides by people who do not want me talking, and I understand. I don't have any problem with that, but so I do the best I can, but. This is kind of a novel idea that we came up with for me to do do a show from remote. I've done a lot of Skype radio, but I've never done an actual lecture or talk before an audience doing it this way. But it's going to have to be done this way because I will never be able to speak before a live audience again. I won't be able to do that ever again. The reason why is because it's very dangerous now. I live in a very dangerous time for my life, so I need to be very careful where I go and what I do anymore, because for me it's very dangerous now. It has become a very dangerous world for me to live in. I know too much.
And then he said to me, he said, "You've always been interested in UFOs and otherworldly things, right?" And I said, "Yes, I have." He said, "Would you like to see some UFOs up close tonight?" And I said, "I'd love to." He said, "Well, come on, I can do that for you."
TruthSeekah.
There was a knowledge given wisdom for you to behold. Invisible college in the silence, the way it's shown. Illuminate the path to the seeker who walks alone. Into the mind of a mystic, what a secret would be made known. Behold the wisdom keepers who traverse the sky. Communicating telepathic waves deep in your mind. Beyond space and time, where we touch through meditation. Divine design, we move past your speculation. Radiant light being traveled from other planets. In a secret way, within a state of overstanding. UFOs above my house, it's enemy thoughts from telepathic. Frequent linking frequencies from outer space, intergalactic. Avatars speak life to my body. Illuminate my third eye and guide me on my journey. Yearning and I'm discerning, been handing knowledge like Hermes. Who would severing the servant, the service unto his purpose. Knocking mysteries, the magic of John D. Giving sacred enchanted seals, evoking the Elohim. Summon the Malachim, well in the unseen. Wings of the dawn, fulfilling the prophecies. Knocking mysteries, the magic of John D. Giving sacred enchanted seals, evoking the Elohim. Summon the Malachim, well in the unseen. Wings of the dawn, fulfilling the
Since the dawning
prophecies.
of man, they kept tabs, kept their eyes on this land. As part of their plan, they want us to succeed and expand. They killing disease, they cloak ships, replenish the trees. They keep the oxygen circulating, filter the sea. Then burrow in soil through sedimentary rock to make oil. With vessels stronger than a diamond, metal thinner than foil. Keep tabs on our growth and taught ancient man how to farm. They blast asteroids that's flying close to keep us from harm. They got a reproductive cycle perfect down to 9 months. And replicate efficient bread to fall down from the sky once. Heliocentric farming, don't you find it just a little bit alarming? That a planet's surface population, billions of us swarming. What the dickens, realizing things that truly make me sick. And proof is in the pudding that they breeding us like weary chickens. Monitoring tweet conditions, NASCAR lines for landing pilots. Giant space prism for refracting deadly ultraviolence.
Knocking mysteries, the magic of John D. Giving sacred enchanted seals, evoking the Elohim. Summon the Malachim, well in the unseen. Wings of the dawn, fulfilling the prophecies. Knocking mysteries, the magic of John D. Giving sacred enchanted seals, evoking the Elohim. Summon the Malachim, well in the unseen. Wings of the dawn, fulfilling the prophecies.
And he looks up into the sky and starts inaudibly talking. His mouth is moving as if he's talking to somebody, but nothing, you can't hear him. And as I'm watching him standing there talking to the stars, and so he said, and then he looks at me and he said, "They said that they will be coming from Griffith Park in just a minute. There'll be 3 of them, but they'll be here in a minute for you." And I said, "Who's they?" He said, "You'll see." And within a couple of minutes, 3 beautiful disc-shaped things, glowing, very faintly glowing, came over with no sound whatsoever, in a triangle formation, came over and stopped right above our head and stopped. And when they did, You could see they were disc shaped, and it appeared like it was like a pie cut in 6 or 8 slices, and each slice was a different color. And what I remember distinctly is each color was like a laser color, vibrant orange, vibrant pink, very vibrant colors, 6 or 8 colors on each one, and they were circulating. Not so fast as to blend the color, but circulating. And they were beautiful, and they were about the size that the full moon appears. So they're not little lights, full moon size, 3. And I'm standing there looking at these gorgeous, beautiful, vibrant color things, spinning in colors and no sound. And I was absolutely mesmerized, and I was enthralled by seeing this gorgeous, beautiful display. And I looked at him, and he's looking at me. And he says, "They're pretty, aren't they?" And I said, "Yes, they're beautiful." And then he looks up and talks to me. He said, "They told me to tell you that they're going now, but they'll see you later." And they did. They started moving, and they went out north. And afterwards, we went back in, and I said, "What did I just see tonight?" He said, "That was us. We've been here for a long time. You just didn't know it." He said, "We picked you a long time ago when you were a small child. We have something for you to do."
We knocking mysteries, the magic of John D. Giving sacred enchanted seals of folk in the Elohim. Summon the Malachim, will in the unseen. Wings up the thorn, fulfilling the prophecies. We knocking mysteries, the magic of John D. Giving sacred enchanted seals of folk in the Elohim. Summon the Malachim, will in the unseen. Wings up the thorn, fulfilling the prophecies.
And that is our very own TruthSeekah. Why don't you tell us about your inspiration for that song, Mr. Man?
Jordan Maxwell. Jordan Maxwell and John D. and the Book of Enoch and a lot of other things. But Jordan, that talk that Jordan had about being protected, about doing his work, you know, that he had encounters with beings and people who said, "Listen, we're going to make sure that your message gets told, that what you're supposed to do on the earth, you will not die until your voyage is complete." And that was so beautiful of me studying angelology and how angels come to people and how angels watch over you. And to hear those stories from Jordan Maxwell, that was a big part of why I fell in love with his work. And to be 1,000% honest with you, I wanted to peer into a lot more of those stories. They were so encouraging for me to make contact, to be honest with you, to go under the stars and be able to make contact and to have a similar encounter, which I did. But later in Jordan's life, I wanted to interview him and go into detail and depth and articulate and maybe unfold some of the details about those stories, and he never would. You know, he never would. It ended up turning into the doom and gloom kind of things. And I was like, I would almost beg him to, like, "Man, tell us about the angels, tell us about the UFOs, tell us about this." And he would know, "Yeah, I've seen them, but Trump is this, and what's coming is a disaster." And it was, man, you know, and that was always a pet peeve of mine. But listen, that was something that was part of his process. You know, that was where he ended up. But that's where I picked up the torch, and that's what was personified in my music, and it's continued to be personified to this day. I'm able to take it to the next level, and I'm able to articulate probably a lot of his stories and even trace them back to something similar biblically, where people in the New Testament and Old had similar stories where they were approached by beings from another realm that watched over them and that seated them here and that were their guides or their creators. And so, man, you got to salute him for that. He gave Jordan was the icing on the cake for that, to tie a lot of loose ends with the Elohim and with the beings, the lords and the gods who came down and, like he says so eloquently, was the gods who let us make man in our image, and also let us go down and confuse their language, and let us go down and meet with Abraham in Genesis 19, and who was the us. And so that that lit a fire within me, and ufology as well, to go out and have my own experiences. So I had to capture that in a song and try to pay it forward, and I have. And many other people have gone out and sought that entire interview with Carrie Cassidy from Project Camelot. Again, give roses where this stuff comes from, because there's so many jewels within those entire interviews. So yeah, salute to Jordan Maxwell again.
Well, thank you, Truth Seeker, for your beautiful artistic expression. And expression is 9/10 of the law. So I do want to get to the chatters. I think that was a great suggestion from you, Micha. We have one more thing I'd like to get through before we get into the chatters, because I think this will open everyone up emotionally and get us in the groove completely. And so I'm going to read a little something here real quick. And that is the great work, right? In Hermetic tradition, Jordan Maxwell calls them, oh, hang on just one second. Okay, here we go. In Hermetic tradition, Jordan Maxwell calls them as he sees them, with his third eye and right brain on high octane. Seamen of the current sea of confusion, words cast spells. The subconscious takes in both meanings, while in most cases, the ego recognizes only that which is logical. There are many Maxwells everywhere copying his work and even passing it off as their own. Yet, he's here to stay in one form or another. The work is immortal. All hail the great work of Jordan Maxwell, now angel number 1477 in the ranks of Archangel Michael. You may pray to Jordan or for him as you see fit. Most blessed transition, our teacher and friend, Jordan Maxwell. And now we're coming into this section here. Thank you. My star child. So this is, of course, Manly P. Hall there on the left, and I put myself in the picture there on the right with my Hermetic hat above
I've
me.
always understood that
And
when the
this is
student
a
is ready,
quote
the
from
teacher
Manly
will
P. Hall
appear.
that I did a little
like,
magic
"Here I
to.
am."
And so today, all over
My
the
star
world,
child.
people are now in darkness. They know they're in darkness. They
sorry.
know that they don't
Is this
understand
working?
how the world works. They know that they're being lied to and
we've frozen.
deceived, and that criminals are running the world, and the world is being run by criminals.
It looks
that
like I've
are
frozen.
Murderous, bloodletting criminals. And so people are waking up, and now they need a teacher. They need someone to help them to understand the world they live in. And so
I've never frozen before.
in the Bible, the Apostle Paul says in the New Testament that we are
Yeah, I was looking at that picture and I was like, there's no way that's a real picture of you and Manly P. Yeah, I think you got to unmute your mic at the bottom. It'll let you do it until she comes back.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yo, I did. So since she's gone, on a side note, I did tell you that I wrote you into my book series, right?
I know you mentioned talking about doing it. Yeah, but
I put you in. I put you in on the seventh book. My main character was listening to you to get amped up for something.
Dope.
What I'm gonna do is, if this ever makes it to TV, because I literally just got the coolest gift today from my scriptwriter ever. I get a package in the mail today. I open it up. It's a cryptext. Okay? It's a cryptext. And what happens is it's a cryptext, and he leaves me a riddle to solve it. Mm-hmm. So I solve the riddle. I open the cryptext, and there's a flash drive in there. I put it in, and it's into my computer, and it's the screenplay for the pilot for the first episode. So that was a really cool way, the way he sent
Wow.
it. And yeah, what I'm going to do, we're starting to pitch it to TV producers. If this ever takes off, there's a couple people that I said that are already in the books that I want to have there play themselves, but I'm going to try and have your music at some point in it. So I would just need your release. I don't know if you master your own work. I'm assuming you do. But if you'd be interested, you know, because I did write you into the book. I told you were listening. My main character was listening to some of your music.
That's so cool, man. It's such an honor. For sure.
Yeah. You gotta give roses.
Give your roses, man, for sure. And I'll find a way to incorporate you into some of my work, for sure.
Appreciate that.
Well, Occult Priestess is back with us. You're not frozen anymore.
You're not frozen.
Did I do one of those? I had to go out of StreamYard and completely I can't believe.
You know what I thought about when I saw that picture of you and Manly P. Hall?
What?
From like 1930s. Do you remember the very end of The Shining where he's in that ballroom picture? And it was like he's like superimposed.
I thought the same thing.
Did you really?
Yes, I did. I was like, this is kind of creepy. Yes. Wow. Maybe it's like a psychic imprint there. I was trying to do the quote. Did the quote come through?
The quote came through, but so did
we can hear your audio.
Oh, great. Okay. Well, then I would like to, if we can try to go into the sing along. It's short and it's just a part of our morning process. And then the rest of the night is ours, guys. There is one more segment. Sorry, but it's comedy and we're going to end it with
I've always understood that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
He's like, here I am.
And so today, all over the world, people are now in darkness. They know they're in darkness. They know that they don't understand how the world works. They know that they're being lied to and deceived, and that criminals are running the world, and the world is being run by criminals that are murderous, bloodletting criminals. And so people are waking up, and now they need a teacher. They need someone to help them to understand the world they live in. And so in the Bible, the Apostle Paul says in the New Testament that we have a war not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and the world rulers of darkness. That word world rulers of darkness is cosmokratoros. It's in a Greek word, which means world rulers of darkness, cosmokratoros. And it's an interesting word because it implies that the darkness that the world is in is being ruled over by certain people. Certain people are keeping us ignorant and ruling over us in darkness so that we are totally in the dark as to how the world works, what is going on and what's coming and what has happened in the past. We don't know. So we're all in the dark.
Before we went live, I showed you my new shirt that I had made.
Manly
P. Hall tee, which
Manly
is
P. Hall.
You know what I'm saying, the man of mystery, great teacher. You were talking a little bit about how he left you some of his work and how you miss him and how he was a great mentor.
Yeah, he was a wonderful, wonderful man. I myself, just my opinion, but I think he was probably one of the greatest teachers this world has ever known in any era of time. One of the great masters of knowledge and wisdom and education that's ever lived on this earth. And I mean, going back into the Grecian Empire, the Grecian Roman Empire, and all the great minds and philosophical teachers of the world, I know about so much of that history. I cannot fathom in my mind anyone who comes close to the work of Manly Palmer Hall. He was an incredibly brilliant man, and he never promoted any particular religious belief. He never promoted any particular philosophical or political viewpoint at all. What Manly P. Hall did was nothing short of phenomenal. He taught everyone about every religion and concept and philosophy in the whole world as a master. I don't care what it is, and from China to Japan to Africa, to any country in the world, any nation, any race, creed, or color, any belief system, any religion. He was a master in all of it. What an incredible, incredible man he was. And he was a dear friend of mine. And I learned so much from him. And I learned humility from him because for being such an incredible teacher, he was always very humble and very quiet and very, just a wonderful, wonderful teacher. And I learned a lot from him. The world could learn a lot if they just settle down and listen to the old man. There's I don't know, there's hundreds of hours of Manly P. Hall on the web talking, and people could just sit and listen to him and just be amazed at the brilliance of this man's mind. And I know more about him than most people. I could tell you a lot about Manly P. Hall. But anyway, I just always loved him. I've always respected everything he does. And he's gone now, but his work is still with us, and you can see it go on the web. Anybody listening could go on the web to Manly, M-A-N-L-Y, P. Hall, H-A-L-L, and go on to YouTube and just type in Manly P. Hall and listen to him. You tell me if he's not the most incredible thing you've ever heard.
I love him because he, like you said, he doesn't teach it like he's trying to teach you Christianity or Buddhism or Taoism or whatever, but he simply acts as a historian, telling you what they all believe and how they all kind of seem to run together, and essentially lets you choose. I have a lot of people that say Manly P. Hall teaches this and he teaches that. He doesn't vouch for any of it. He presents it and say, hey, this is what they believed. How does that apply to you, right?
Yeah, and he would say, if you want to talk about Buddhism, then understand it correctly. It's not that simple. And then he would go into 2 hours of explaining all of the different kinds of Buddhism and what each one taught and each one believes, and where it came from and where they got their ideas from. He's not promoting it. If you're going to believe something, well, here's the rest of the story you didn't know. And so I'm just amazed what he was able to do. And especially I was very much impressed with his astrotheology series.
The True Religion.
It's like about 7 90-minute lectures he did. And he called it astrotheology. And what it was is he explained where all of the beliefs in Christianity and Judaism have come from. In the ancient and prehistoric ancient world, the belief systems that finally became known as Judaism and Christianity, where did those ideas, belief systems, words and terms and symbols come from? Where did it all actually begin? Going back to the very beginning, millenniums ago, thousands and thousands of years ago, where did religion start and where did it come from? And what a masterful job he did with that. Yeah. And it was startling to anybody who has an open mind. And remember, your mind is like a parachute. Don't work if it's not open. Yeah, but if you got an open mind and you really want to know, go on the web to Manly P. Hall and look up astrotheology. And it's like about 7 or 8 hours where he explains the whole of world religions, where it comes from, what it all means. So yeah, he was a wonderful man, and I loved him greatly. And when he passed away, he left me his research journals. It was a priceless collection of all of his work of his life he left to me.
Can you shed any light on how he passed? I've read different things online that he was taken out and that there was different things done to him. Do you have any knowledge on his final hours?
I thought I did. Yeah. I thought I did because I was told by people on the inside who knew something about Manly P. Hall's death. And from what I gathered, no matter what the story is, there's 2 or 3 of them out there. Yeah. Each one's different. But the bottom line on all 3 stories is the same. He was murdered. he was killed. And so, but he was like, I don't know, in his 90s, I
Yeah.
guess.
Still going.
Yeah, it's still going. Beautiful, brilliant mind. Even at 90 years old, he was dazzling the audiences with his lectures because he could talk about the ancient Sumerians, the ancient Egyptians, the Babylonians, the ancient Chinese dynasties, what they believed, and why they believed it, and what they taught, and and just he was just a magnificent teacher, and I'm delighted that all of his work is still out there on YouTube because people don't know about him. So I'm trying to make you aware.
Definitely.
Go and listen to Manly P. Hall. You will be amazed at what you will discover.
Definitely. What's the oldest Manly?
So that's TruthSeekah with Jordan Maxwell, of course. And now we're going to get into our sing-along. I hope you guys do sing along with me. We're dedicating this song to Jordan Maxwell. And literally, I'm going to sing it. So it's hopefully not doing a solo. We're just waiting for the... Oh, nope. That's in another video. Sorry, I had to leave the studio and come back in, so I don't have any of my videos loaded. So I am going to let you guys talk while I get my act together.
Listen, Jordan Maxwell giving his roses, man, even in that video, like, let me take the opportunity to say the name of Manly P. Hall. Like, so good. Early on, Jordan's a big name, y'all. Like, a lot of people look up to Jordan. He's impacted the world, really.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever really understood. None of us do. But Jordan didn't understand. He would have phone calls with me early on when I was seeking, and he didn't know me from Adam for real. He knew I was an influencer. He knew I was a podcaster and a hip hop artist. But Jordan would get on the phone with us for 2, 3, 4 hours. I would call my friends on three-way, and we would be able to, and Jordan would just answer our questions and hang out with us on the phone. And he's big. I don't have time to do that with my fans who want to do that with me. You know what I'm saying? Jordan did that for me in a time of my life that was that I needed it.
Yeah.
And it like, you know what I'm saying, meant a lot to me. And he spoke a lot of truth to me, and I'm doing what I'm doing today. I was at like this precipice of like what a Christian minister looked like, because I was doing Christian ministry, but I was being called to the deeper things of God, the deeper things of the Bible, and they weren't having it, and so I had to kind of like choose or whatever. And Jordan was like, listen, you're just pursuing truth, and this is what is being revealed to you, and these people are calling you a devil worshiper. And there were a lot of phone calls that I had with Jordan that he took the time to hang out with me and just talk to me that really were monumental for me. And again, he didn't really that was the beginning of our relationship. I mean, I interviewed him once before that, but that was the beginning of our relationship, and that meant a lot to me because I didn't know no pastors who would do that for me. I didn't know none of your pastors will jump on a 3-hour phone call with you and break the Bible down. They got luncheons, they got committees, they got stuff going on. Jordan Maxwell, as big as he was, would jump on a phone call with me for 3 hours. He don't even really know me, man. It meant a lot, but it still means a lot, And for him to do that, and this joker, listen, I can call him whenever I wanted to. Hey, Jordan, you want to do a podcast? Hey, I'm free this evening. Let's do it. He was dedicated to the work. He wanted to do the podcast. He wanted to get the information out. He endorsed my music. He endorsed my first album. He gave me, listen, so many people followed my work because he put a stamp of approval. Like, people listen to my podcast today because of interviews we did 10 years ago, because I did an interview with him and he vouched for me and he gave me the stamp of approval. Like, that's huge. He wrote the foreword to my book. Do you guys know how many sales I get on my book because of people looking up his name? They don't know me from Adam. They know Jordan Maxwell. Jordan Maxwell gave me 5 pages and put his stamp of approval for the forward of my book. And they look his name up. And, you know, Jordan didn't charge me nothing. He didn't charge me for that. He did that on GP. He did that out of love. Folks write me, I charge them. You want me to write? Listen, show me some love. Jordan didn't charge me nothing, but I paid. Trust me, I paid him, but he didn't charge me anything. Man, those little things, man, mean so much to me. I'm forever indebted. I'm forever indebted. So I don't give a damn what anybody says or who he was, and he was in the Illuminati and he was a Luciferian, all these crazy conspiracy. Man, listen, this guy was somebody who was married and devoted to the truth. And just doing little random acts of kindness. I mean, that's for me. Do you know how many other people he did that to? So many other people that he imparted a piece of his mantle to, that continue to carry his torch to. Micah, I got this joker on the phone call with Micah. I knew it's the smallest thing that I could do. You got me on Coast to Coast AM, one of my dreams, man, to be on that show. And it's like, you told me how much Jordan's work meant to you. And I was like, have you talked to him? Oh, man, no, I never spoke with him. What? You never talked to Jordan? Hold my beer. Watch this, man. And I was like, Micah, answer the call. If I call you, if I text you with Zoom, you got to join because Jordan's probably going to be on the call. So I wanted to make sure that happened. And then you guys begin to hang out. You showed him your work, and I seen the smile on your face, and I seen the smile on his face when you told him genuinely how much his work meant to you, because you're doing what you're doing because of him. Like these little things like this is priceless, man.
I dedicated my first book to a bunch of people. He was the first name. I sent him a screenshot of it. I showed him my videos. A lot of people know about now. I showed him my intro video. He told me that it was sensational, and he really looked forward to it. And I want to read you this Skype message that I got from him, January 17th. Okay, we had maybe talked for truth, it must have been like 2 months that we were just off and on talk on the weekend and such. He sends me this message. Hi, Micah. I was in the hospital for a stroke and pacemaker. Recovering now at home. Let's touch base soon after I get some rest. So my man had a stroke, and he had a pacemaker put in. And he still thought to go on Skype and answer a question that I had asked him. You know, it meant the world to me. You know, I have developed such a beautiful friendship with Truth through Jordan. Because of Jordan. Well, not because of Jordan, but we share that. We share the love for the man. And I mean, like you said, you know, I got you on Coast. That was your dream. My dream was talk to Jordan, you know. People don't really do that kind of shit for each other anymore. You know what I'm saying? No one gives roses. No one gives love.
What you did for me, you went above and beyond, bro. And you don't even really know me. You're inspired by my music. You listen to it, but bro, you went above and beyond for me. And I had to do whatever I could. That's a small thing. That's light. That's love, bro. That's what we represent. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want to. We got to rate. That's got to be the standard. That's got to be the minimum.
Yeah.
Like what you did for me, what I did for you. Like that's camaraderie. Like that's minimum. We got to do that for strangers. Like.
Yeah.
Goodness, man. It goes so far, man. And it's simple. What it cost you? I mean, just a little bit of time here and there. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah. I just made a quick call to Richard. You did his show. He liked you. You went on Coast. It was that simple. You know what I'm saying? It was that simple.
True. Bro, you don't know. Like I'm like a little kid, bro. That was huge for me. It was huge for me. So, dude, listen, people, I mean, because of what you did, this is where we're talking about paying it forward, because this is the ripples in the pond. Like, because of what you did getting me on there. And I believe that a lot of this, it traces back to you. I do believe the benefits. And when you need a blessing, it comes back. People were listening to Coast in prison. They were in jail. They were locked up in prison, listening at 2 a.m. of me sharing my story of hope and of redemption. And they found my work, found my book, found my music, wow, I'm rededicating my life to God. I'm getting my life in order. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm kicking drugs. This guy's story sounds so much like mine. I found somebody's work I can resonate with. And listen, these people changed their lives and they were in prison. They got out a couple weeks later. Dude, you benefit on that. Like that, if I wouldn't have been on there, that person's life, then everybody that their life changes, the family that's restored. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what this is about. Little small things that you'll never know about if I didn't even tell you. You'll never know. But dude, that's what this is about. And that's what
that's the
Maxwell,
funny thing. That's the part that
come on.
That's the thing that I think is so funny is that you think I did this enormous favor for you, that I went above and beyond. And then I think that you did me the bigger favor. And we keep having this conversation every time I text you or anything. It's crazy.
I mean, what's the same thing? Like, Jordan just is like, dude, I don't know how many people Jordan jumped on a phone call with that day. But Jordan talked with me and my friends for 2 hours here, 3 hours there, you know? And for me, it was a big deal. For Jordan, it's like, hey, what's happening, guy? You know? Oh, yeah, the truth, Apostle Paul, yeah, the Bible. This is what he does, man. And so I know because I get those messages too. Oh my God, this is TruthSeekah. Oh my God, TruthSeekah. Oh, I can't believe I want to call with you. Oh my God. Hey, what's happening? How's it going?
I just want to state, I don't get nervous with either of you in the room. I'm very happy about that.
I get nervous with both of you guys. Like,
oh no.
No, I'm joking. But I mean, you got to like honor even that moment. Like I've even heard people say, don't take that from them. Hey, I'm just a regular person. Don't look up to me. Like some people like need to like, it's their moment. They've been listening to hours of your content. They've read all of your books. They've listened to, and now they're on a call with you. Oh my God. I'm just like they get nervous. You're like, I'm pretty sure I felt like that on the call with Jordan. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I do, Truth? You know what I do with all my fans? I've got a Twitter, Facebook, and Insta, right? If someone messages me, I keep all the conversations. You know, I tell people to reach out to me, you know, buy the book series through me, ask me any questions, whatever. I keep all the conversations. You know why? Because 6 months from now, if a random person messages me back, I'm going to go through that conversation and I'm going to remember what we talked about and I'm going to pick up where we left off. You know what I mean? That's basically what I do. And I hope I can continue doing this. But as my work gets bigger and bigger, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm actually presenting my intro to astrotheology video, the one I showed Jordan, to the Grand Masonic Temple in New York City, the big one.
When is that happening?
June 30th.
Ooh, spooky. Shields up, kids. Shields up.
That's happening. I've had David Icke's Iconic reach out to me.
Sweet.
I'm still waiting to hear back from them on something, but yeah, it's just I you know, there's just so many people like Corinne, Truth, like Alex Stein, my friend Chrissy Mayer, just seeing all these people that
Prime Time 99, Alex
all these
Stein.
but you know what I'm saying? It's like all these people that like we whore each other to each other's show pretty much, you know? We go on everybody's show and we all do each other's show, and to see everybody like collectively rising, it just gives me such good feelings about the next generation of people.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
new media. It's the new media, guys.
It's the new media. It's the new influencers that are out there right now.
I'm not influencing anyone. I'm just teaching.
Sharing your truth. And it just so happens to help somebody, right? Like I'm so passionate about this again because I come from the religious community that would like, we look for ways to count people out. Like we look for ways to say, okay, you can't be a teacher because you're this or because you're that or whatever. And so that was just like the normal, like and it was usually coming down to your belief system. What do you believe about Jesus? Oh, Micah just said Jesus wasn't real, or Micah just said that Jesus was a star, or Micah, and so that meant we couldn't be friends. That means you couldn't come on my podcast. That means if I got caught endorsing you, I would lose subscribers. I'm actively fighting that spirit.
Well, I'm still that way with disinformation, and I always will be. So I'll never have a flat earther on my show.
Well, you gotta have your standards,
Do flat earthers believe in global warming? I mean, that's really the only question I have to ask on that one.
You gotta have your standards. Everybody
I
has their line that they won't cross.
That's right. But when I met Jordan Maxwell, I want you guys to know, I ran to him like a little kid and I put my arms around him and I would not let that man go. Like I was just standing there talking to him, holding him, because you could tell when you're in the room with him that he needed healing, that the community wasn't really coming there to build him up and to give him love. They wanted to know things. They wanted, if there wasn't a lot of giving towards Jordan. So I didn't ask him anything. I just was all the love that he wasn't getting from other people. I tried to be that in one person for him that day. And he really enjoyed the hugs and he was very appreciative and he got it. You know what I mean? So now I can add this to the stream finally. I'm Occult. And this is just a little thing that we're going to do, and I'm just going to go into it. All right, great. Priestess, Reverend Corinne. Since I was 16 years old, I have dedicated my life to teaching and community. I am pleased to be here with you tonight, and I'd like to share my story of how I came to host this most blessed Memoriam. Like many of you, I came across Jordan Maxwell's work on Art Bell. Then later, in my spiritual work, his teachings were often mentioned in my social circles. I attended a Jordan Maxwell lecture in March 2017, where Jordan stated, his own family owned the land Washington, D.C. was built on. Therefore, he felt a personal and sole responsibility to expose political corruption. To him, it was a karmic situation. Fast forward to November 2021, when I meet author and astrotheologist Micha Dank. I had a knowing that Jordan was not long for this world. It was then I began gathering clips and even reaching out to Jordan himself to share a joke, comparing his work with Gallagher, the American comedian. The day I corresponded with Jordan is the very day the Maxwell trial began. A karmic situation indeed. In fact, I recently did a show with the journalist Addie Ads, who covered the Maxwell trial. So I had the astrotheologist Micha Dank on the show, converging with contacting Jordan and the Maxwell trial. I began that live stream with the song Wild World by Cat Stevens, a very appropriate tune when you think about it. I would like to dedicate this song through the holy power invested in me by the DJ to the life and works of master teacher Jordan Maxwell. Please light a candle with us. I'm praying for clarity, peace, and natural karmic law to bless Jordan's life mission. May we all see the fruits of his labors come to full fruition in our lifetimes. Sing with us.
I'd like to sing a song now that I wrote, I think, before I tried to make a second comeback. And this, I think I'm basically talking about myself in this one. This is called Wild World. La 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 la. Now that I've lost everything to you, say you wanna start something new, and it's breaking my heart you're leaving.
Baby, I'm grieving.
But if you wanna leave, take good care. Hope you have a lot of nice things to wear, but then a lot of nice things turn bad out there.
Oh, baby, baby, wild world. Come on, Truth.
Hard to get by just on a smile.
Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world.
And I'll always remember you like a child girl. You know I've seen a lot of what the world can do, and it's breaking my heart in two, because I never want to see you sad, girl.
Don't be a bad girl.
If you want to leave,
Take good care.
Hope you make a lot of nice friends out there, but just remember there's a
There's
lot
a
of
lot of
bad
bad and beware. Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world.
And it's hard to get by
Just upon a smile. Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world.
And I'll always remember you like a child girl. La 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 la
La la la la la la la la la.
Baby, I love you, but if you wanna leave,
Take good care.
Hope you make a lot of nice friends out there, but just remember there's a lot of bad
And beware. Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world.
And it's hard to get by just upon a smile.
Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world.
And I'll always remember you
like a child
girl. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. And it's hard to get by just upon a smile. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. And I'll always remember you like a child girl.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Okay, we're back. Dry your tears, please. It's hard. I know it's hard doing this live.
Corinne, was it
Jordan?
really when hold on, this earbud. Was it really when you saw that picture of me and Jordan that I snapped when he was in bed that you knew things were going downhill?
Oh no, that's not the precursor. First time I knew he wasn't going to be here for a long time was when I met him, obviously.
Right.
But it was right before I met you, I believe, is when that came through. But he had been in the hospital, right? I mean, he had been ill.
I can't believe to this day, like I still have the Skype message from him where he was like, I just had a stroke and a pacemaker put in. I don't know if you heard that before when I was talking to Truth about it. He's like, I just had this done, but let me get some rest and we'll talk.
He's a trooper. I mean, he was
the weird
rare.
thing is he actually knew it. That's the weird thing.
That's what he told Freeman. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, he told everybody, like, he was looking forward to it. The thing that scared us on my community call that he joined was like, this is all about it. I guess the same thing he told Freeman. Everything is going down, but the only thing I got to look forward to is I won't be around and you will. It was like rubbing it in our face that we got to go through it, and he doesn't. Like he was looking at, like he was like welcoming death, and honestly, that brought tears to my eyes earlier to be like, this existence can be beautiful if we look for it. There's so much beauty in this realm and places and things to see in this world before we cross the great divide kind of thing. And it was just so sad to me that he was, the only thing I have to look forward to is death. I was like, man, that's like,
well, he knew
really
what we know, and he knew what Manly P. Hall knew. So looking forward to death is a real thing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's when you get to go home, real home, not fake Matrix home.
I like the Matrix though. Like
well,
while I'm here,
because not everyone feels the same way. Not everybody.
Right. Like I got a lot more I want to see. Like I want to go see James Gilliland at the East City Ranch. I want to go to Italy. I want to see the mountains. I want to bathe in the ocean. Like I want to do things that I'll regret when we step into the kingdom or the heavens, and we take our place amongst the stars. Damn, I wish I could eat a bite of chocolate again. Have you ever had chocolate? No, and the angels
But
would be
don't
like,
you
no, I've
understand? When
never
you're
had
there,
chocolate.
you have all of your faculties, and everything that came from Earth kind of comes with you. So if you still have your tongue in the old Egyptian way, then you can taste your chocolate, darling. It's maybe
Could you imagine? Could you imagine if when we passed there were like jobs? Like if you
Dude,
have
only if you kill yourself. That's from
Like-
Beetlejuice.
like if you have to be like the ghost
You're
postman
right.
or something.
But
It's not like
my
this
studies
realm,
are showing
thank
me
God.
like I'm super studying that right now.
Yeah.
to be honest with
Truth. You know I live in Long Island, man. Anytime you want to see the ocean, give me a call. Fly up here.
I got a buddy up there too. I need to hook you up with.
Where are you at, Truth?
I'm in the Bible Belt. I'm in Mobile, Alabama.
Ooh, nice.
It's
That's not too
forbidden
far
to talk
from
about
Florida.
these things that we're talking about. Where I'm
You don't know how many people reach out to me privately and they go, "I love your work. You've changed how I see things. You've made me not fear hell or all this kind of stuff." And then they'll be like, "But I'm in the Bible Belt and I can't share this with anyone."
Yeah.
You don't know how many times I get that.
Yeah. It's so like it makes it worth it. You know what I'm saying? Those people when they do, like I have, because to be honest with you, like everybody here, like 2012 around that time, everybody who became conscious or became hippie or whatever and grew dreadlocks, they all moved to either California or really Colorado. They all went to Colorado to work in a dispensary. It was like, hold on, we need like troopers here, man. We need people like, spreading the information and being a standard kind of here, and I've totally been that, but hence the internet, to be honest with you. I mean, I can't go to church and talk about this kind of stuff. But it's growing. It is growing.
Can I address one of these comments in the comment section?
I would love for someone to man the comments. I mean, that would be super cool.
Illuminati
I gotta drive a
Reloaded.
stream. I love Illuminati. He's hilarious.
Illuminati saw fish at Oak Mountain. People don't know this about me. People that grew up with me do know this, but my cousin is the bassist of Fish.
Oh,
wow.
Dude.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if there's any other comments that don't have to do with you, even, that'd be great.
Well, he talked. The same guy said something about, listen, Jordan
Illuminati.
Maxwell. Yeah, Jordan Maxwell talking about the pterodactyl and the
Yeah, I saw that.
the baby Tyrannosaurus Rex. A lot of people take that out of context and like, we told you he was a fraud. But I mean, have you heard him share that story of his dog pinning a baby T-Rex in the corner of his yard, barking at it? He went out there, was this little creature. Like, that's a wild story. And people try to take that and say, oh yeah, we knew he was full of it. But when you're open to some of this strange stuff, it attracts to you. It presents itself to you. What do you guys think about that story?
I think there's a lot of things that we do definitely see with our third eye that someone without a third eye would not see. So what is physical? That's the thing. What is metaphysical? What is beyond the physical? And how come some of us can see them both at the same time?
Yeah. I mean, they say the animals can see into that realm as well. And if your third eye is trained or
that's
you're
why
open
cats
to
are
it.
revered. That's why cats are revered.
And then we can go into the color spectrum.
Funny thing about cats too, by the way. So they were revered in ancient Egypt because they could see spirits. However, when it got to the time of the Christians in the Bible, do you know there's mentions of unicorns, there's mentions of every animal, especially the zodiac animals, but there's not one mention of cat in the Bible, in the whole thing, in the Old and New Testament. In fact, in the during the during the Middle Ages, right? There was a pope who hated cats so much that he ordered them all put to death. And what ended up happening is the rat population grew up, and that's how the plague got started.
I think doctors started the plague.
People still
but
get
that's
the
a nice
plague.
story.
People still get the plague.
Yeah. How are you, Truth Seeker? How are you doing emotionally and everything? I mean, how are you? I'm checking in.
I'm good. I'm super good. You know, the stuff is just being revealed. You know, again, it's like when someone passes, the information that Jordan carried, it doesn't die with me. It doesn't die with him. It doesn't die with anybody. Like, we were directly taught, you know, we were directly inspired. But when the seed goes into the ground, it expands and it gives expansion. So now everything that Jordan carried is now in the Akashic, is now in the spirit for those who are ready to receive, those who separate themselves and study, and who are like in prayer and like are seeking the truth. When you're ready, the teacher will appear, and that void, that container will be filled. And I'm finding that so much insane truth in my life right now. And I look forward to others experiencing Jordan's work in that way, having downloads and epiphanies that are just come to them, and they don't know where it came from. And then they're led to a Jordan Maxwell video. Now they're able to cite their downloads, is what I've been telling people. Articulate your downloads, cite your downloads. We get downloads and epiphanies. Oh my God, the Palladians told me that so-and-so. Okay, listen, go back to antiquity. It's somewhere in there. It's in a book. For me, in the Bible, I'm going through the Bible. Hold on. We found the Palladians in the Bible. We found the lion beings in the Bible. We found astrology in the Bible. Like, I'm citing these downloads. So that's just so like the beautiful thing, that we get these inspirations and moments of the gods and the ancient ones speaking to us. But now it doesn't have to be like woo woo. It can like, hold on. It says right here in 1 John that the Spirit will teach you and wake you up in the middle of the night and give you a word to deliver to people. And man, that's just so beautiful. So Jordan is among what the Bible would call the great cloud of witnesses.
Yeah, witness.
He is definitely among my cloud. He is
Mine
definitely one of my teachers. And I'm going to continue to say his name.
That witness role is so important. That's so cool, because, you know, esoteric Christianity really fits with my vibe too. Like, I totally, it's like to hear someone saying something that you've known, then you hear it there.
So crazy.
Job 38:32. He says, "Can you bind the chains of the Pleiades?" It's right there. It's right there.
Well, I wonder
who taught that better than Jordan. Like, come on.
Yeah. In a way, I'm kind of happy. You know, happy's not.
He got what he was looking. He was waiting for this, man. You know, it's just what it is.
I'm not saying that I'm happy that he's gone, but I'm happy that no one can get to him anymore.
No more fear, no more worry, no more pain.
No more lawsuits.
Plus, he's reunited.
Yeah, I'm just happy that he doesn't have to deal with that. I'm really happy he doesn't have to deal with that. He fought long and hard.
Jordan, like I said, Jordan never charged me for an interview. Jordan never charged me for an endorsement on my music in 2012, on my book in 2019. Never charged me. Listen, I make money on that. I make money on my podcast. Like, we got over 100,000 views. Listen, Jordan freely came. We endorse his work. We plug it right. Somebody reached out to me, a good friend of mine who just started a podcast, and was like, "Hey, I'm trying to get Jordan on. I just paid Jordan $400 to come on my podcast." I was like, "No, you didn't pay Jordan $400 to." Jordan said he charges $400. I said, "No, Jordan is free, bro. You should have came to me. I can get him on your show, like, easy. Like, just call him. Like, anybody can call him, really." And somebody paid him, but it was through the old website that the people took and were trying to sell interviews $400.
You want to hear something sad?
Lost the money, man.
You want to hear something sad? Before I even knew that his website was hacked and stolen from somebody, I bought a few videos from them. And because it was Jordan's work, they charged me $50 or $60 to ship it from wherever it was. And I paid for it because I was like, this is Jordan's work. It's worth it. And you know what? When it came in in media mail. And you ever shipped CDs, Truth?
Oh, it's like
real cheap.
That's real cheap. That's like $4.
Yeah.
They absolutely, man, this poor guy.
Yeah, he went through that, lost the rights to his name. In that clip, he kind of would share a little bit because he was under clauses. He couldn't share everything. But even in that clip that you played, he was like, "I'll never be able to speak in public again."
Yeah, right.
Like, he's giving you a little bit of stuff. Now he's got to spin it. He can't say this mother took my, he
Right.
can't do that because he's under a clause, and so, but he would share with people that were close to him what happened,
So about the downloads and everything, you guys probably know this quote from the Bible. I hope, since I'm not a Christian, I don't know it too well, but it's in the end days, your young men will see visions, your old men will dream dreams, something like that. What is that? Do you know that truth?
Yeah, it's in the book of Joel. Yeah.
So we're here. I believe the dimensions are merging, and part of passing the torch is to pass it to an entire, I don't want to call us, I guess we have to call us generations, right? That we're, you, me, all three of us are in the same generation.
Yeah.
And we're getting the torch from Jordan's generation, who got the torch from Manly P. Hall's generation. So I just wanted to make a statement here in the basement that we know what's going on and that we're here in the fight and ready to go, right? Aren't we ready to go, troopers?
It also says something interesting in that scripture too, in that prophecy of Joel, which is quoted in other places in the Bible. But it says, "I will turn the hearts of the fathers to the sons, and the hearts of the sons back into the fathers." I didn't grow up with a father, so in some weird way, as a teacher, Jordan was like a master teacher, like a father.
But he was a father figure for sure. For both of you, very much.
Part of that scripture, man. So that was really.
Wow.
It means a lot. Yeah, that's another part of that prophecy. Yeah.
Wow, bringing that back through. So switching the hearts. So this ends the father. That gets out of the way immediately, right? When you switch the hearts.
Yeah, but I mean, look at our generation. We have a whole generation that's grown up without fathers. The fatherless generation.
We had to become our own father and mother. Really?
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Insane.
But we've been pushed this far, and it's been this dark and deep so that we can reach our highest form of enlightenment. You've got to be, we're the diamond in the rough, and then you get crushed and burned until you become more enlightened. I want to say hi to some beautiful people over on the Rock Fen. I got a huge tip from my very good friend, Scott Cook, and I want to thank Scott very much for being here and for tipping so generously. And I also wanted to say hello to Ian, who also tipped us this evening. Ian Henderson, thank you so much. And also the TruthSeekah totally tipped us because he's a man that's full of class. I want to say hi to Alfred Zimmern Sorensen, Eric Alexander Crabapple, hello, sweetheart. I'm so glad you could make it. Alan Marcus, we don't see you around here often enough. Hello. And so I just wanted to do a shout out to my audience. I understand that this is all about Jordan, but of course it's all about community as well. I hope I didn't miss any. Hi, Dylan. Dylan just showed. Hi, Dylan. How you doing out there? And then, of course, I've been able to put up our YouTube chatters for this evening. I would like to get to a little bit of levity, a little bit of comedy. If we could take just a few minutes break, and then we'll come back and we'll sew it up if you like, or we can keep going all night. I've got clips, whatever you want. So I'm going to leave that open to you gentlemen. We're going to add this to the stream. And this is how I compare. This is comparing Jordan Maxwell's work to an American comedian.
Thank you, man. Well, I've come here tonight to talk about being different, and I wanted to show you what I was talking about. Being different as American. How many different Americans are here tonight? It's all right. You can tell you're American when you put away the groceries and you fold up the bag, you put it between the refrigerator and the wall. You're an American when you look underneath the sink in the kitchen. In an American's house, there's a rag getting stiff over the pipe. You're an American. In America, a man is free to buy weights to get in shape and put them in the garage with an electric garage door opener. It's America. And the women are free to say things like, how could I be overdrawn? I still have checks. It's America. In America, the kids can get in trouble at shul. for pronouncing it the way it's spelled. Right, kids? I used to get in trouble at school for acting smart.
Me too.
Once I got an F on a question that asked my opinion. I got my opinion wrong. My opinion was of the school. I said your home ec teachers are divorced, your coaches are fat, and the shop teachers don't have all their fingers. So I couldn't relate. I would play hooky. Now, if they catch you playing hooky, you know what they do? The smart thing. They kick you out. He won't come, we won't let him. But I wasn't learning anything. It ain't American to learn rules, I before E except after C. If Einstein listened to that, he couldn't write his name. He's got it wrong twice. It ain't American anyway. Americans don't care if the E or the I comes first. You just make kind of an I looking E and kind of an E looking I, and you put the dot in the middle. But these schools is confusing. They like our language because it's confusing. Makes you hunch over the desk and memorize instead of running outside and playing. That's free and liberated, uncontrolled, looks dangerous. They want you hunching over your desk, memorizing O-N-E is one. Even though it sounds like it ought to have a wa-wa at the front. Where's the wa-wa in one? There's an E you don't need, but there ain't no wa-wa. Then you look at two, there's a wa-wa you don't need. Could that be the wa-wa from one that slipped down into two? I don't know. It's hard to tell. Let's look at this. What's this, gang? Bomb. B-O-M-B, bomb. T-O-M-B, Tom? No, that'd be too easy. You'd learn that, run outside and play. That's tomb. If that's tomb, is that boom? No, that's bomb.
We're getting into Jordan Maxwell now, for sure.
Yep.
This is why spelling bees are only won by introverted little ugly girls. Well, try to use your brain. Figure this out. C-O-M-B, comb. P-O-M-B, poem? No, that'd be too easy. Poem is P-O-E-M. Okay, P-O-E-M, poem. Use your brain now. H-O-E-M, home. Sit back down. Home is H-O-M-E. All right, H-O-M-E, home. S-O-M-E, some. No, that's some. S-O-M-E, some. N-O-M-E, numb. No, numb is N-U-M. Can you believe it? B.
Down Rivers.
Come here. You are so funny up there that I almost find like I don't know what to ask you. What? Because I just whatever I say is gonna be fun. What are you gonna talk about?
Oh, I can just talk about anything. I think the fact that I'm just free and open to talk, me and you, we don't have a political career, so we don't care. You know.
I can see it.
I want to address a comment. Illuminati. She died in an endo procedure. You're talking about Joan Rivers. Right before she did that, a couple days before, they asked her what it was like to have a first woman president, the whole Hillary thing. And she said, why? Obama's wife, Michelle's a man. And then they cut that. They didn't put it anywhere. And then she's dead 3 days later.
That's right. That's right. So
Dying procedure. Yeah, that was crazy for sure.
So you did see the correlation between Gallagher and
with the
Jordan
etymology,
Maxwell.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I saw that. That's the part. Was the other part?
I mean, the other part was just to warm you up. But yeah definitely.
Well,
I heard Gallagher before I heard Jordan Maxwell. So.
And then you would have a mixture of what's his name that was going in that passed away on all the political stuff. That was a comedian. What's his name?
Carlin.
George Carlin. Right. He's kind of like it would almost be like a mixture of both. You know.
Actually, if they had a baby, we would be. Where is that baby? We need to get that man a podcast.
So I got a Jordan Maxwell question for y'all. I guess we
Great.
can. There would be maybe one stem off of that, but I got two. One would be just to stem off of that. Sammy Davis Jr. and his connection with Jordan Maxwell. He's seen in some pictures and some people try to say it was Anton LaVey with him or whatever, but there's some Hollywood pictures, some hangout stuff with Sammy Davis Jr. Do you guys know of any of those connections? If they were just at a party kind of thing, do y'all know anything about that?
Not me.
Maybe the chat. I don't know much either, but people try to say that
Jordan knew a lot of people, and none of them spoke up for him.
It was like in the 70s or something. It was like old.
But Jordan knew a million people. You know what I'm saying? He knew people high up. They bid off his work. Not one person gives him credit. Not one person shows a picture of him with him. Not one person. And he influenced Hollywood.
I would say that also the talk show host, radio show host, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, he put up this big thing about the drummer that died today, and all he did was retweet somebody else's tweet about Jordan Maxwell.
Oh, God.
And I was like, what's important to you, dude? And you have such a big platform. What are you doing? You know, but he was the blue chicken cult guy, so I guess we shouldn't expect too much.
Man, Jimmy Church tried to get us all. He brought us all over to that platform only to just get his little quick payout and then leave.
Wow.
You remember On Stellar? I don't know if y'all remember.
Yeah,
that.
I was a part of On Stellar.
Yeah, that seemed really cool. It blew up. They were promoting it on Coast to Coast.
Their platform was actually better than Rockfin's.
Can I just honestly tell you both how cathartic and how great as far as healing purposes tonight goes?
That's the point.
I couldn't think of two more spiritual people I'd rather spend today with. I can't. I literally can't.
I didn't think I would shed a tear over this. You know, I just thought it was like, you know, hey man, we appreciate you, Jordan. But like once you start vocalizing it, it was like, oh man, it's pretty
You were
hardcore.
close, man. You guys had a relationship and that went on for years. So I'm so glad you brought the emotion to this. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, I just didn't see it coming. You know, it's like, yeah, I can talk about it openly, and it's like,
Priestess, do you think you'll be able to talk to him at some point soon?
Soon? No, we usually wait a year. It's tradition. But, you know, Jordan's been a voice in our head. That's only going to get stronger, children. It'll only get stronger. And Manly P. Hall's been my spirit guide for a long time, and so is Carl Jung. So they do, because they're part of the college, the Astral College. Those are our teachers. And that's where he's going to pass the torch from.
That's where I think I'm a little different, because you got Jordan Maxwell. You got even Santos Bonocci now. You've got
who's still living, thank goodness.
Yes, you got Manly P. Hall. You got all these people who had such wealth of knowledge, you know, that we all have. But I approach it a little differently. I wrote a fiction series where I give all this information out through the stories. And you know, I'm trying to commercialize it. I want this to, I don't know how it's going to be taken if it goes far. I don't know what it's going to start. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that I approach it differently because I do have a writing background. And I think that these Dan Brown type thrillers are just, that's what they basically are, how I wrote them. I think that they're really going to red pill people softly. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you look at just the story
red pills with candy
of the gods. I mean, the gods stories to this day. And when I say gods, we can talk about astrology as well. I mean,
Hermes.
Just look at the Marvel franchise and how little kids are still venerating Wonder Woman, Astra Ra, and all of these gods from the beginning. They're dressing up like them as for Halloween or for conventions and for birthday parties. Like,
did I tell you guys that my publisher, I have it finished and we're about to put it out. I've got a kid's astrology book coming out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You guys check out,
cool.
Stay tuned to Chanter. Oh my gosh, I just messed up really bad. Sorry. Stay tuned to Micha Dank for his children's book. Excuse me. Sorry about that.
Well, they say you got to be able to teach the esoteric in a simple way to children. And if you can't, you probably don't need to be talking about it, which is a very interesting concept that you should be able to teach these
There's
far-out
a
mystical concepts to a child,
there's a saying that says if you can't explain something difficult in a very easy way, then you don't understand it.
I think we should also act as if we are teaching children, because we're teaching the inner child. The inner child is the one that really learns, is really magical. That's why I use so much visual and music and everything, because the intuitive side of the mind is going to pick up on that.
Well, the idea is just to basically teach the children this stuff early enough so that when they're older, they don't have to go through that debilitating pain of realizing that they were lied to.
Is it that even what the Bible says, that raise up a child in the way that they should go, and then when they're older, they will not depart from it? Like, that's Proverbs. Like, it's true, but now all this is brand new to us. But it's in our DNA.
Which is old, though.
Yeah, because it's in our DNA.
Because, well, I don't believe in DNA, dude. It's physical, right?
It's wherever you want to say it is. It's in our genes. It's in
your aura. Okay.
It's in the star. It's in the stars. It's been there the whole time, right under your nose or above your head.
But the thing is I was taught about the Greek gods in Greek mythology in middle school, and I hated them. And I realized later it's because the people who wrote it were looking at them as if the gods were people and giving them all of the negative aspects that people have. But if you have graduated to become a god, you no longer have those ego imbalances. You're a perfected being. Therefore, when I pray to Hermes, the god, the Greek god, I'm praying to a perfected being, and above him, more perfected beings. And we're all family. That's how I see it. And then I go to college at the astral school, right? Doesn't it all fit?
They taught us that in elementary and middle school too, and I jokingly told my friends, "Hey, those are real. Those gods are real." And again, being down here in the Bible about, like, no, that's just make believe. That's just a story. I was like, I would jokingly try to get my friends, and they told on me. Derek said that they're real. No,
they were real before your gods.
They're not real. They're not real. That's not real. And I was like, I didn't say that, kind of thing. But I jokingly, intuitively said that they were, hence.
I thought I hated mythology. Like, get me away from all of that crap, because it's not what I was used to from my past lives, which beautiful stories, beautiful poetry. And so what we have today.
The Bible opened me up to it. Do you honestly like learning the Bible? And now, like, hold on. They Hypnos did what? Hypnos put the gods to sleep. And then the word sleep is hypnos in the Greek. So when people were supposedly dead, they were just sleeping because Hypnos put the other gods to sleep. And it's all hidden within the New Testament. So now I can see it because I know the New Testament. I know the story of Jesus. I know the Old Testament, and I'm seeing those stories are hidden within.
And if you go deeper into the Greek, you'll find the original of the Bible stories.
I'm finding. Listen, I've been manic.
Oh wow, are you going through an awakening?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we got to do a show just you and me then. Let's do it.
I'm finding all the gods in the New Testament, and their stories and in context, and it's been amazing. It's been it's brand new to me. It's brand new.
Truth, there's a comment in the section that talks about that Sammy Davis Jr. thing. If Priestess, you want to pull it up, it's from Nye.
Who did it? Who said it?
Nye.
N-I-G-H?
N-A-I.
Is it on the Rockfin or the YouTube?
It's on whatever I see. It looks like YouTube.
Huh, I don't see it yet.
I'll read it to you. It says Michael Aquino. Michael Aquino was the guy in the picture of Sammy Davis Jr. and Anton LaVey. He looks similar to Jordan.
Michael Aquino doesn't look anything like Jordan Maxwell to me.
That's what I'm thinking.
But I can see why Michael Aquino was with...
Michael Aquino was the master of ceremony at the Bohemian Grove.
Well, all I know is he's a Satanist. Self-proclaimed, right?
Yep.
Do you know about Michael Aquino, Truth?
No, I don't.
Okay, cool. See, that's the thing I like, is that there's little holes everywhere that we just fill in for everyone, together as a community, so that we can learn the entire story. That's great.
Hence me, the New Testament, and finding the gods, being introduced them through my own text that I am an expert. I've been studying for years and years and years, and now I'm There's another layer that's just been unlocked. That's been there the whole time. Nothing's changed. It's been there the whole time, but I just wasn't privy to it. I wasn't privy to it.
Now, that was Ian Henderson, one of my friends over in the Rockfin chat, that was talking about Michael Aquino is in that. And he actually dropped a link if you want to go, and we could probably see the picture.
Which chat was that?
In the Rockfin chat.
Okay. Cool,
yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to Google it, but Google's been so weird lately. You can't find anything.
Oh, it's wild. No, research is like spirit alone. You just gotta call, hey God, what's that quote from who and so?
Okay, so this guy, so that's not Jordan Maxwell. Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't really look like him. It's just like when you're doing your research and they're like, that's Jordan Maxwell, and it kind of looks like him. You're like, I guess it looked kind of, it could be. If it's a meme,
well,
I can see that it's not though. Like
that's on Vice.com of all things. But also, I took the link from the Rockfin and I put it in the YouTube. So if y'all going to go look at that, it's definitely not Maxwell.
It's so funny.
Thank you, Ian. You're very smart, and we
Thank
appreciate you.
Yeah.
Truth.
Okay, well, okay. So we got this one with Jordan. Let's go to the next one. So I wanted to just go down a lot. I wanted to do like an interview with Jordan and just go through all of the conspiracy stuff with him and just ask him blatantly. And I didn't do it, but I wanted to. I didn't know if he'd even be open to it without getting offended. You don't know.
Well, that thing that you did, you guys look him up. Look up TruthSeekah, Jordan Maxwell, and Blavatsky.
Oh, yeah.
That's the clip where Jordan goes off, and it's amazing. And I'm feeling for our host here, TruthSeekah. I was like, oh my God, how is he handling this guest?
Yes, well, like it's funny because people in the comments were like, he's not going off. He's just telling you his opinion. I was like, I just kind of feel like he was getting upset with me.
He was very powerful in that meeting. So hopefully you guys will look that up.
Jordan is a word guy. Etymology. And I said,
that's right.
About being a fan of Blavatsky. So I would say I'm a fan of you guys. I'm a fan of your work. I really appreciate it. I'm a fan of it. That's just our terminology. Fan, Jordan is like fanatic. I'm a fanatic of Blavatsky. I am not a fanatic.
Right.
So it's like, oh, shoot, maybe should have changed my wording talking to a wordsmith such as Jordan, So I was like, what are you a fan of the work of Blavatsky? It was like, I'm not a fanatic. He kind of
I know who she is. I'm intellectual enough to understand what she's saying.
One of my favorite things he did was when he took the word church and brought it all the way back to Circes, who would hypnotize people into their house. Do you remember? You've heard that clip, I'm sure.
I just found that
yesterday. Is the meter in the Greek.
Yeah, because so I'm trying to find those actually in the Bible. And I couldn't find that one. That was one. But I did mark it down as a God that was kind of like maybe a reference, but not like actually in the scriptures. Because listen, anything that has to do with anything in the Bible, in the New Testament anyway, is a Greek God. Repent is a goddess. Love, agape.
Fidelity.
Any death, hell,
virtue,
like it's so crazy.
Those are my people. That means they're coming.
But they're being taught in context. So I've kind of been sprinkling to a few people just in my study, like, and they're like, well, the Greeks had a God for everything, and so it would make sense that it was just a God for love. I was like, hold on, but Paul is breaking them down in context of their story. It's not just he just mentioned a random love. No, he says, listen, love, charity, and wisdom. And the greatest of these is charity. And like, that's their story. Like, she was the greatest and the most renowned. And like my mind is, it's been there the whole time. I just didn't know.
Welcome back, Truth, to the old guys.
Another
We've
level.
Been waiting. It's amazing level. It's wonderful.
Well, so check this out. I'm not going to go. But Jesus is he's the Godhead. He has the fullness of the Godhead residing within him. Christians teach you the Godhead is the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. These three are one. Listen, the Godhead is all of the gods together. All of the gods.
That's what the Hindus would say.
Within him. He is and now Jesus is now where? In you. Christ is in you. He has the gods in him, and now he is in you. So now you have the fullness of all of the gods as you need them, as a teacher, as courage, as strength.
As
Those
archetypes.
gods now dwell within you. I can't go. This isn't coming up on Google anywhere.
Well,
Nowhere.
God, no. Why would it? This is the way real occultism works.
Yeah,
Alone in a dark room.
I'm trying to roll ideas off of people. I have nobody to talk to.
Well, I'm really mystical, so you can come to me with all your weird stuff. Everyone, not just TruthSeekah. Anybody's got some weird stuff. I'm your girl for sure.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, Micha, I sent you the YouTube link in chat and in Twitter. I'm sorry I didn't see your message earlier.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
I want you all to know it's 8:08 on the West Coast. What time is it there for you guys?
10:08 for me.
11:08.
Central.
And can you tell we've been going 2 hours and 8 minutes. So I need to take a potty break, but I can let you guys like keep talking. Is that cool?
Okay. Yeah, and I'll sprinkle this because this is the question I want to ask you, and you can think about it, ponder it if you know anything on it. The question was Jordan Maxwell, his name. Say
oh
his
yeah,
name is Russell Pine, and so people try to expose him. His real name isn't Jordan Maxwell. Where did he get it from? Never heard him speak on it. I wanted to ask him that, but we do get references back from Isis Unveiled, which is a book by.
I'm going to let you talk about that because I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard this.
Great book by.
I tried talking to the priestess about it. So wait, Truth. Your name isn't TruthSeekah?
I know, right?
It's not your real name?
It's a pen name. Yeah, come on, man. Come on. Yeah, pen name.
Oh
Same
my God.
thing, right?
So Jordan Maxwell took a pen name.
Yeah, something that meant something to him, right? And people found it out, I guess, that he got it from Blavatsky, but we don't know that. I mean, there's that similarities. There's this magical river, these references to Jordanus Maximus River and Isis Unveiled. I'm not an expert on her work. Her work is vast for sure. But I didn't know if you guys had done any research or looked into it or heard him say anything about that at all.
No, a lot of it is misinformation, disinformation, stuff they put on the internet, talking about how he has an ex-wife that the reason he has no money is because she keeps taking it from him or she keeps going back to court for him. Things of that name. His real name is Russell Pine. The guy who stole his website is because he was doing some shady dealings. He stole money from people. Just whatever disinformation you have out there about him, is what it is. But that kind of person, you knew that he was staying with a friend towards the end of his life. At the very end, he had a friend who would message me sometimes too when Jordan couldn't come.
I was told he died at Brian's house.
Yeah, that was it.
Right?
Yeah, Brian. Yeah, he died.
I don't know Brian.
That's where he stayed. No, I talked to him a couple times, but he would reach out to me. He'd be like, "Jordan would really like to talk to you. Can you get on Skype?" And then towards the end, when he couldn't even get to the computer anymore, we would just FaceTime. Jordan ended up giving me his cell phone number, and I don't know if it was his or if Brian was paying for it, but it was an iPhone, so we could FaceTime, and we would just FaceTime.
I wanted to point out in that picture of you and Jordan, I can tell that you're laying down on the couch and Jordan's laying down, and you're kind of like just being in his position, comforting him and being his friend.
You know, it's funny, that picture, we both basically just woke up from a nap and I called him.
You can bring it up if you want in the stream, the picture, if you can.
I can't do that. My computer's not going to do that. You could do that.
I'm just not good enough. I'm not good enough.
Go. Yeah, no, he it was really nice connecting with him towards the end. Him telling me that he appreciated my work and that it was sensational in his own words really meant a lot. You know, I wish
you screenshotted me that the first time he said that.
Yeah, I did. I sent it to you. Yeah. We still got to put together our super team.
Dude, I've been thinking about it, and I want to do it. I've got the lineup in my head. One of the people.
Do you want to explain it to the people what we're basically going to do?
Yeah, one of them I'm kind of iffy because they've turned me down on some stuff back in the day. Maybe they thought I was too esoteric, too like alien stuff. But
Yeah.
maybe if they knew I'm gonna keep it biblical and kind of host it right, they'll do it. But we're wanting to do a Super Friends kind of thing, roundtable, where all the people that I know that have a passion for the Bible and for the different interpretations as far as astrological, spiritual, literal, metaphorical and allegorical, and anatomical for the body, and how you can read the scriptures and they're true on all of those levels of existence, and probably many more. But I have several friends who I would say, in my mind, who are experts in those fields, and Micha being one of those for astrology, and several others that I know that I'm like, I want to get these guys together, and maybe it doesn't even have to be together. Maybe it's one-offs to where, hey man, let's break this down. Okay, let's do her session. Hey, you break this down of the same scripture, starting at the beginning of one of the Gospels, Mark or Matthew or whatever the case is, and break it down astrologically. And then somebody else breaks it down literally. And then somebody else breaks it down spiritually, allegorically, whatever. And then bring them all together, because obviously for too long it's been the fighting. The Bible is only literal. You guys, it's literal. Believe it. It is what it says it is. And then somebody, no. It's only allegorical. There's only allegory and the deep hitting meanings of life and philosophy. And those two fight. But then the astrology, no, it's only about the stars, brother. That the book is only about the star, the whole thing. No, it's only about the way your anatomy is. And you release the Christos oil up the spine, and it, enlightenment, and Christ is crucified on the cross, and Golgotha between the two thieves and Mary Magdalene, but bringing everybody together for their respective positions. I think that would be amazing to come together, like in unity, though,
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I screenshotted that picture too. Yeah.
We basically just woke up. And I called him, and we were just bullshitting.
Hey there, guy.
I just see so much love in this picture, is why I really wanted to point it out. And I didn't bring it up. God.
He probably said, "Oh, I'm still here."
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Yes. He was a sweet
Priestess
man.
sent me a message before, because I sent her this picture at one point, or she saw me post it on Twitter.
I did.
And she sends me a private message today, and she goes, "Now it has a frame." And I was like, "I love you."
It's so sweet. Yes, try to make everything look pretty,
because
it's for the archives, and I am a child of Thoth, the record keeper, and I love archives.
So good. So I would say 2 weeks ago, I had a very vivid dream.
Ooh.
Where I was at a convention or something like that, and I met Jordan Maxwell in person. I never met him in person.
I think I'm the only one here that's actually met him. Right?
It was very similar to your picture. I got to hug him and hang out with him, and it was like we just kind of picked off where our last conversation left off, and it was just like, oh wow, it was surreal. It was one of those dreams where you're like, wow, there was something to that dream, and I knew I need to call him. I knew. I knew it was so surreal. I'm trying to put esoteric meaning. You need to call him, kind of thing, And I didn't. And 4 or 5 days later, whatever, he passes away. And so I'm like, man, he came to me in my dream. I had that vivid dream. Like I should have called him. I told a close friend of mine, I was like, yeah, man, I had this dream about Jordan, bro. And then now he's gone, and I felt like I probably should have called him. But then, Michael, he wasn't all that there either. There's no excuse not to call him. But like
at the end,
he didn't recognize me. Know who I was. Yeah,
he didn't recognize me. He didn't recognize me at the end.
My buddy said
at the end he was talking.
That was our goodbye of having a conversation, getting to meet him with him being cognitive, like in the spirit world.
The last conversation I had with him, he didn't really recognize me, but he was like, go to my website, and he was trying to tell me about the birth certificate thing. He was like, I have this thing on the birth certificate. I was like, I know about this for years, but he didn't really. I knew it was towards the end because he had a stroke.
Yeah.
You know, and then he had another complication. It was after that complication that I knew things were going to be, you know, as it is.
Yeah, it was surreal. I mean, I wish I would have talked to him again, but then again, like, I don't know, you know, if that would have been good, you know, to
hear him to see him without his faculties.
Who are you again, young man? You know.
Well, you know what, gentlemen, we are making that phone call right now. And we're going to continue to make that phone call because that's the passing of the torch. And you will hear from your teachers up in the Astral College. That's how this works. I promise you.
I already know. I mean, I feel like I don't know what else he could have. You know, I'm sure he could teach me a lot more, but I'm excited for the up and coming people too. You know,
and what he was saying, you know, he was pointing out the church and how the church had made the government and how all that kind of was together. But now they're trying to make science the church, right? With transhumanism and the new world order, the global order with the one world religion based on the United Nations.
That's Aquarius. It's the sign of
well,
the man.
It's an inversion of
perversion.
Aquarius.
It's a perversion.
Well, I said inversion, but yeah, perversion too. Perverts in power. That's from Stick, Sex, and Hammer 666. That's his quote. But yeah, so we are actually taking his great work and pushing it forward into this new paradigm with this new narrative and how nature is the beautiful thing. And I know that also Manly P. Hall would agree with me that it's all about going back into the nature realm, the nature of ourselves, know thyself, and the nature of the world, know this physical, tangible, beautiful world. What's outside of that is the matrix. And that's what we're freeing people from.
I'm not going to lie. The more that I learn and the more that I understand things, the more that my dreams feel more real than reality. I don't know if you
your dreams are more real than reality. Yes, that's the world I live in.
I feel like this is the dream. I feel like
I dream while I'm awake.
Yeah, I feel like this is the dream world.
This is for your ego, to get your ego in check. And I mean, imbalanced ego. This is for you to know thyself, to go from lead to gold, dude. Totally.
Yeah, that's alchemy right there. That's the.
And this is the exciting part. You know, it's very sad that we lost one of our teachers, but he leaves in his wake a great, like, drop pebble that's turning into an earthquake. It's going to turn into a tsunami. You understand, when a great dies, that makes a watershed on the planet to wake people up. And we also lost a few from the bad team this week too, which I was very excited about. Some politicians bit the dust, which I think would make Jordan happy. Maybe he took one with him. You know what I mean? So that woman who said it was okay that they killed 500,000 Iraqi children, that's the woman that died. I don't remember her name.
Madeleine Albright.
Thank you. Is that right? It must be. I'm not in that world of mundane. Yes. So politics, and you know, Jordan was totally against the political establishment as he was the church.
Yes.
Yeah.
You better wake up and do your homework.
You better wake up. I'm telling you, like, but see, people don't get that. Like, Jordan was a student of the scriptures, man. He loved the Bible, man. He loved the person or the thought of somebody like Christ existing, man.
Yes.
And people, you know, the far esoteric people who just, you know, we talk about Jesus as being an analogy. Like, Jordan would smile when he would think about Jesus being a personification of love and of truth and of justice or whatever, and it being attacked by the clergy and being attacked by the higher ups and the political powers and stuff. And Jordan he loved the scriptures and he loved truth so much that led him to the doors that were opened up for him. And I think that any seeker, any person, that if you have a similar pursuit of Christ and of the Bible, if you keep reading and you stay apt to learning, you eventually walk through a very similar door. Once you get past your cognitive dissonance, once you get past your schisms, and you are really married to truth wherever it may take you, you're going to end up in a very similar vein, and truth come whatever may. And that's where we are. That's who we are, you know.
And I see your prayer candles there in the background, your beautiful prayer candles. So that's Jesus. And then there's a saint. What saint is that?
That looks
That's
like
Judas, or a Jude, Saint Jude.
Okay. Well, we love Judas, Lady Gaga. Okay.
You know,
so I actually have prayed to Mary, and Jesus has come to me. And I want you to know that we're all friends. You know, it's just that we're in different time zones, if you will. So the Greeks or even the Egyptians are parents of the Christian tradition. But we're all friends. We're all in the same team.
Put it to you this way. What I talk about in my work, one of the things I say is that during the Egyptians, that was the age of Taurus. Okay. And you see plenty of hieroglyphs with this bull with the sun between the horns. They venerated the bull. Then in the age of Aries, you have the Jews. And then Jordan Maxwell goes into this brilliant speech where he talks about Moses going up to getting the 10 Commandments. You heard that, Judith?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He goes up to the mountain to get the
Sinai.
10 Commandments.
Yeah.
And Sinai. And Sin is moon god, or it's a Sumerian moon god. And Ai means mountain. So it's mountain of the moon god. Why? Because they would see the moon come up behind the mountain. So he goes up there. Moses goes up there to get the 10 Commandments. And he comes down and sees them worshiping a golden calf. And he broke it down for me that the gold was the sun and the calf was Taurus. They were venerating the wrong time period because they're the people of Aries. That just blew my mind. So then you have that. And then the Jewish people start to fade in numbers and in popularity after the age of Aries. Then the age of Pisces comes up and you have Jesus, you know, the Jesus fish. Jesus feeds the masses with two fish being Pisces. And then now we're in the age of Aquarius. So if you follow suit, you know that the church is going to, like, eventually, you know, as time moves on, they're going to lose in numbers because we have to have a new world religion. And then you have the one world religion trying to be opened up in Jerusalem now, the one world religion building. You know, it's inevitable. They know this. And I think the church knows that their time is up because they're not ruling over the age of deception anymore.
Yeah,
it's the one world order. Religion doesn't even matter anymore. It's all about, we're going to Nazi you into doing what we want you to do. We'll make up some fairy tales, which you guys know that Star Trek, Star Wars, and Philip K. Dick and Robert Anton Wilson and all those guys, whether they knew it or not, were part of seeding this narrative of the UFO crap.
Yeah. The whole idea, you mentioned Joel, right, in the Old Testament, those prophecies and stuff. There's another prophecy that Joel says that there's coming a time where I'll pour out my spirit on all flesh, right? And that it's a new covenant that I'm going to build with my people.
And that's not Build Back Better or the Great Reset. It's the new covenant with our souls.
And it's that you will not even need to teach or tell people about spiritual precepts or about God, but that all will intuitively know their connection to the divine creator.
It's the
all I've ever wanted.
It's called the 100. Yeah.
People think we're there now. People think we're there now.
No way.
I had to tell you about Jesus. Like, you didn't just know or whatever, or maybe you did, because there's the idea of the law of God, love. It's written on our hearts. Which there's totally a difference between primitive man and who we are now with a conscience that gets to decide to be or not to be.
Have you guys heard of
let live, you know?
Right.
Have you heard of the 100th monkey effect?
Of course we have. Everyone has.
Yeah, that's basically what it is.
How come Buddha had so many followers back over 2,000 years ago and there wasn't 100 monkey back then? So I don't think so. This is a long procession, as you know, of the ages of the yugas, taking a soul from this little spot to taking it all the way to a god. And that is a cycle we have been in through our incarnation.
So when you're talking about during the years, when you're moving through the zodiac signs, you have cusps, you have handover dates. It's a 3-day period where one sign hands over to another. Right. But when you're in the age when you're in the procession of the equinoxes, the age that we're in, it goes every 2160 years. So it's a lot slower, the cusp. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So there's more
Sure.
period of a time for it to go through.
Definitely. Oh, sure. I get that. Kind of. I'm really bad at math, and that was kind of mathematical. You always got to paint pictures for me. Yeah. Did you guys see anything in the chat that you wanted to bring up for yourselves?
So Ian says we stand on the shoulders of giants, and I gave not only Jordan a shout out, but a couple other people on my new album, my song As Above So Below. But it says, "Arise and arrive, we stand on the back of giants." Tessarian, Blavatsky, Maxwell, and Bonacci.
Oh, wow, what a rhyme.
McKenna was a bridge to the realms of psilocybin. Man is a little world, the microcosm inside the great universe, the macrocosm. But yeah,
DJ has blessed you.
I can't listen to regular rap anymore. I can't listen to everyday rap anymore.
I can't either, dude. That's like,
no way. Give me food.
Yo, truth. Do you sing your own hooks too?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. If it's me
so
on,
you're the guy that sounds like the black guy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's
right.
It kind of comes out to help me with being a rapper. Not so much of giving lectures and teaching, and it's like, or doing guided meditations. But rapping for sure.
Priestess,
well, you've got soul, brother.
Priestess, do you know Miguel from Eon Bite?
Eon Bite. Yeah. I call him Connor. I'll be back, Connor.
He's got a voice too. The two of you need to start reading books or
yeah.
Or just I don't know, man. Your voice is ridiculous.
He
when you
does got a good
sing.
voice. Yeah.
But both of you can do Jordan, which I find very, very impressive.
It's only when we channel him. It's got to be him.
Yeah, it's got to be. I can't do voices.
Can't do it all on command.
College. That's right.
I could do like Hulk Hogan and Macho Man. That's it. That's like the extent of it. Enjoy.
Randy Savage.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Wrestling's just the whole big part of the game.
You better wake up and pay attention.
Wow, that's impressive. All right.
I like when he goes, there's nothing holy about that book. The only thing holy about that book is it's full of holes.
That's right. He did. He kind of had dad jokes, didn't he?
He did.
Wouldn't you think so? Yeah.
For his time, he just carried him over. A lot of it doesn't translate well, so that's our job. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like,
true.
I know it was like in the stars and it was divine that it happened, but this man was teaching before YouTube, before the internet. I don't know how. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how work got from like one place to another and just spread like that.
They in New York, they got a hold of his work. People were handing out his DVDs on the street corners. Like,
I got DVDs from strangers at the flea market.
Yeah, they would just hand them out like a Bible tract, like Christians hand out Bible tracts.
Right, exactly.
Carrying knowledge and wisdom. Hey man, watch this and call us tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was wild. Yeah.
The first time I think I saw Alex Jones was on one of those videos some stranger gave me. I can't believe we don't even talk about this. People, I guess, only if you've experienced it in your own life, if you've been in that special aura that people come and give you things. But people are doing this all over the world. We're always trying to seed that knowledge. And I guess we don't talk about it enough, but it's happening.
And they're trying to make frogs gay.
Yes, my favorite.
Guys, I'm a little retarded.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious. I'm not gonna lie with you. I'm
Joe Rogan said that he's a stupid moron. All these guys in these big shows are saying how stupid they are, which is really funny. They got all the money. But the new media, we're here, and I do consider Alex like a torch. Well, I don't know. Will he keep going? I'd like to hear some comments from you guys in the audience. Is Alex going to keep going? Or are we going to have a new kind of situation? What do you think? Alex Jones, guys, if you didn't get the voice, the voice acting.
He was. I'll say his name when it's applicable. You know what I'm saying? It didn't last too long, but definitely early on he was a bridge early on for me for sure.
Yeah.
Well, he still helps me understand politics because I could give a crap about politics. So
that's
I need
probably
somebody...
why I don't care. I'm like, I don't even worry about it.
Well, I need to know what's going on in the world because I work on a lot of stuff upstairs. But I also want to say that Ian Henderson in the chat said that he would like to suggest Grand Theft World. So Grand Theft World is on Rockfin, and that is an amazing Sunday night show. I'm there every Sunday. Grand Theft World on Rockfin. That's Richard Grove. It's actually, if you look up Richard Grove, then you will get to his channel. But it is the smartest, one of the smartest things I do with my week, people. If you want to know what's going on in the world right now, that's what I do. I can't be a priestess floating away just because I wouldn't help anybody that way. If I was just into my poetry and into my beauty, which I could do, but I would feel like my mission wasn't being accomplished. So that's why I'm out here with you. And that's why I spent the last 48 hours in Jordan Maxwell land, making sure this stuff happened.
And I want to
job. Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
But I want to thank God, and I want to thank you two gentlemen, you beautiful, beautiful people, for coming and making this possible. This would have been not very much without you. So thank you for making it really sing.
Thanks for letting me crash
Rachel's still in the group. Rachel's still in the chat. Hi, Rachel.
I enjoyed it. What better way? Like, it has to be done, you know, and it's going to continue to be done. This isn't the end of anything. People say
it's the beginning.
People say that all the time when people pass, but no, I don't. There is no Truth Seeker without Jordan Maxwell. Like,
there's no me, and there's no me, and this podcast doesn't happen either.
And people don't even have to like Jordan, and they can be an enemy and attack, and he's Illuminati and have all these conspiracies. Listen, if you've been blessed by anything that I've done, you gotta give the man his flowers, you know.
His roses, yeah.
There's the message and there's the messenger. You got to look at both, but you got to at least hear the damn message, right?
Yeah.
And discern for yourself. And I think that's what also he was doing. A lot of these people out here that we are fall prey to are saying, you have to do it this way. This is the one way, blah, blah, blah. And the only thing he was mad about is do your homework, do your research, get off your butt, wake the heck up.
Better pay attention. Do your homework.
He was warning us like a banshee who knew what was coming.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. And it was, you know, I still have the videos.
I agree, Aaron Gannon. That's exactly what I was saying earlier. And it's nice to see you, Aaron Gannon. Hi. Sorry.
But like I said earlier, I think that I could speak for all three of us where we say that we're carrying his torch. Many others will too.
Yes.
But that the best way we can honor him is to inspire other people to follow our lead in what we do and teach us new things. You know, I'm not trying to be the biggest author in the world with a TV series for ego purposes. I literally was driven to do this because people need to know this information. And if I have to do it commercially this way through fiction so that it sells, then that's what I will do. And that's what I did, you know, but I want someone younger than me to watch this, have their life completely changed, start looking at my videos, and then be inspired to work like I was inspired from Jordan and do their own work and, you know, show people their purpose. This is my purpose. I know you both know your purposes too. I think that's why we resonate when we talk.
We're all on a mission from God, just like the Blues Brothers. The band is back together, man.
Yeah, we are. We all know our deep purposes. And you know what? Viktor Frankl said that when people don't have a deep sense of meaning, they distract themselves with pleasure.
Boy,
and then you look around and you see all the people doing drugs and alcohol and just realize that their souls are hurting because they've been lied to their whole life. They don't know what true spirituality is, and they don't know what they're supposed to do in this world. People are going to their jobs miserable. You know what I'm saying? It's not. This isn't how life is supposed to be, and it's not going to be that way for much longer.
Right? We just got to get through this, kids, and we're getting through it together.
Yeah, I mean, can we be optimistic on the other side? And I think that, you know, Jordan obviously lacked that. You know what I'm saying? But I think that that's where we pick up the torch again. Hey, I'm optimistic that the people won't miss it. Take a second to listen to the people with vision. You know, like it's you know, brighter and and beautiful on the other side. And honestly, I want to be here in the flesh to see it. You know, I do, to be honest with you.
I don't even know if you guys know about the rainbow body of Buddhism, but apparently we turn into an entirely different being. It's amazing. And it's never happened on this planet before. So the deeper esoteric knowledge of the Buddhists could tell you about not ascension, but what it's like here to be in a body of a god.
You know, they say too
if
that
you're a son of God or a daughter of God, then you have to be the offspring of a God.
You know, they say that in the Garden of Eden, it was never specifically said
And
that
a
it was
garden of Eden.
It never said
baby.
specifically that it was an apple, and a lot of theologists.
It was a pomegranate.
A lot of people, a lot of truth people say that it goes back to Buddha. They think it was a fig tree.
Oh, the figs. Aren't the figs yummy?
I actually have a fig tree in my backyard that doesn't grow.
Do
'cause
you
don't
really?
take care of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Take care of your fig tree and your money will get better.
I know.
That's what she channeled.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got a question here, you guys.
Yeah. What do you think?
What do you
orbs
think
are?
of orbs? Yeah. Orbs that show up in photographs or on
Dust.
film.
So
sometimes they are dust.
Personally, I hear they're spirits. I'm told they're spirits. I don't know a lot about orbs, but I do have a lot of followers that see them and send me pictures of them because they've taken pictures and they've shown me them. And I've seen them and I've seen videos.
Haven't you gotten
of
those,
them.
Truth, as well? I think all three of us have
I've
gotten
got
orb pictures.
Pictures, yeah. And the ones that I can see are fun, but most of them I don't see. Like faces in the shadow. Like I get a lot of wild stuff. I've got a friend of mine who's good with the orb stuff. This joker can say he's like in relationship with them and can like now orbs now spirits now, and they just start flying around.
Wow, that's cool. Does he know how he does that?
He could explain it. He's super dope when what he did.
We'll have to have him around.
Yeah, I definitely need to give you his name. He's a real good friend of mine, real good dude, and that's his thing. He did so. There's this, so there's a, I don't know if you want to call it a trick or whatever. In the Christian tradition, there's this idea of the gold dust of that people have an encounter where their hands or their body or their hair gets filled with gold flakes.
I've had that. What does that mean?
I've seen videos of that. Like
no,
15,
I've literally
20
had
years
that.
ago.
Yeah, I know.
They
15,
cry
20 years
tears
ago.
of gold.
Well, I didn't do that.
I've seen it. It happens in church services. I wanted it to happen. I know people that discipled me that had it happen to them, but I never had it.
But what does it mean?
Nobody really knows. I'm trying to study it a little bit, right? I mean,
I just thought, you're like a relation of Christ and you're glowing kind of thing.
That's what it is. So supposedly it's his glory. It's the glory of God,
that's what I think.
or the glory of angels, the angels that represent that aspect of his glory, if you will, that show up. And
but it's really there on your skin,
No, we went to a seminar, and my buddy, the guy was with me, and he was like, "Hey, Truth, you got that gold dust on your skin, don't you?" And we kind of laughed. We were joke cutting up the whole time, but it was a really high intensity spiritual Christian mystic,
ecstatic
fasting. It was awesome. And he was like,
amazing.
and he's high energy. He's like, "I know you got that gold dust on your hand, don't you?" I said, "Nah, man." He said, "Yeah, you do. Just look at it."
Yeah, you just look.
I don't, man. He's like, "No, look at it. There it is." He said, "Gold dust now. Gold dust now."
Oh, wow.
Now, and literally, there was one little speck that appeared. He said, "Yep, there it is. Told you it was there." I said, "Oh, I kind of see it in the light." And all of a sudden, filling up all over my hands. I was like,
yes.
I was crying, man. Obviously, it doesn't take much to make me cry, but it was just gold all over my hands. And I was like, oh my God.
You are a golden child of God, dude.
It was amazing. So yeah, so that guy, he's in tune, man. Like there are like certain manifestations.
Does he snap?
That people.
Sorry,
Yeah,
does he snap
snaps
when
a
he
lot.
does it?
Yeah. Well, he tries to get your attention.
You gotta watch.
Actually,
You
bring
gotta
your
watch
focus.
that. Watch it. Watch it, buddy. Listen to me. Snapping is something comedians do too. Or
what's to
circus
draw the
callers.
focus? Yeah.
Well, it's actually a form of hypnotism. It's not just focus. It's a little bit more
Yeah.
than that.
Well,
Okay.
I mean,
Moving
we're all
on.
being. I mean, isn't everything a form of hypnotism? The sleight of hand, kind of thing.
And that's why it's so important to learn your meditation so that you can break your subconscious forever and ever and move into the heaven realm while you're still in a body here on earth. That's what I've
I
done.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I need to get you in touch with him. He's a really cool guy. And
Well, I want this to happen again. You guys, I love you both individually and I love you even more together. So I hope that we could have a round table in the future.
For sure.
And also individually, like I said. But I think that we
Drew,
should.
Thanks for clearing up your schedule and jumping on with us real quick. I know as soon as Occult asked me, she was like,
nah,
yo,
I was like, I got to do something. And you're like, hey, we're doing something Saturday. I was like, sure, if you have me, I'll do it. And I was like, I went live on my Facebook. I was like, I got to do something officially on my. It was just me talking on camera, but
yeah.
No, you did. You really. I'm so glad you did that before this because you got the worst of it out.
I'm trying to think of like, I mean, there's so much. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this would, and even on that, I mean, we left so much out. There's even tonight we didn't. There's so much we didn't talk about. You know that we forgot about. Like that's the kind of thing. There's so much impact that there's stuff you left off the table. As soon as we're done, or tomorrow, you're like, man, I wish I could have talked about when he said this or that video that impacted me, and I tried it and it worked. And so much of that, man. You know, like even the dream thing of Jordan coming to me in my dream and how personal that was that I shared with you. Like I didn't even do that on my channel, you know. And I tried to just kind of go down a list, but there's no way that you can explain all of the impact that.
But you have the rest of your life to do that.
For sure. Songs and poems and podcast, everything, man.
One of my favorite things is taking an author and putting their words into songs. And you have done that for us. And I thank you so much from the muses. And the muses, may they bless you greatly and give you golden skin.
Yeah. Pray for me that I can do Manly P. Hall's work like that. He wrote those short ones.
Yeah.
With the Spaceborne with short poems. And there's some beautiful ones in there. And I was like, in my mind, they have to rhyme for what I do.
Sure.
Like it has to be rhyming, so it's a little bit harder. But I would love to be able to put his stuff to music and be able to rap those kind of things. That would be amazing. Yeah,
you could do what you always do though, and you could just sample some of his work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you do a verse and then sample a thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, I do that all the time for sure.
Yeah,
I
noticed that.
So like you said, you dedicated your stuff to Jordan. I've never officially, but my first 3 or 4 esoteric albums were all dedicated to Manly P. Hall. Like there's big artwork. I paid to have artwork done of pictures of him with planets and stuff. And in the videos, everything was, this work is dedicated to Manly P. Hall. Like everything was like decked in his stuff for sure.
Okay, well, I'm just energetically bringing it all back in, you guys. So I would like to. Did you have something to say, Micha?
No, I just wanted to say it's been amazing with you two tonight. This has been very healing. I know I'm going to think back on our conversation tonight and the wonderful chat that I've had here, and I've been scrolling on and watching the whole time. This was a very positive experience. When I think of Jordan, I'm probably immediately going to think of this chat from now on. So that's definitely helped me.
We did get a request from the DJ by Ian Henderson for Stairway to Heaven, but you guys are going to have to go to your own videos to play that out because I will get copywritten for that. So I want to thank you guys for being here, everyone in our sacred community, those of us with eyes to see and ears to hear, the initiates of the path, and those who gather the torches after the teachers have passed. So understand that many of you are a part of this astral college, and that whether you're awake or asleep, part of your consciousness is there. All you have to do is pick up the phone and talk to one of the teachers, philosophers, or spirit guides who are waiting by now, standing by now.
To take your call.
That's right. And so I'm Occult Priestess of occultpriestess.com. It has been my great honor and pleasure to be here with you this evening and passing the torch over to Micha.
Thank you guys for being here tonight. Funny thing, Truth. One of your followers, Rachel, I brought her up like twice tonight already. I messaged her. I said I'd give her a shout out. She tagged me in a post, like your live feed about Jordan tonight, and I wrote in her comments, I was like, I'm doing a show with him in an hour. And then she was like, what are you talking about? So I told her where we were going to be, and she's been like promoting this everywhere she can to like a million different people. So thank you, Rachel. Much love. And I just wanted to say that it's been a pleasure being here. I'm going to sleep very well tonight.
Yes.
I claim it for my life too.
Yes. Rock, sleep good.
Let me sleep.
It's gonna be wonderful. So
we've all been under so much stress and pressure lately, as a community, as a group.
yeah. It helps sometimes when you're fighting the globalists, you know,
and the damn gay frogs.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just it's good to come here and talk spirituality.
And a beautiful father figure that influenced us all.
He really did. And you better wake up and pay attention.
Come out of her, my people.
Yeah.
TruthSeekah, why don't you tell us a little bit about you again?
Yeah. Follow me. Check out my stuff. TruthSeekah.com. Truth SEEKAH.com. Or anywhere on whatever social media platform you consume content. I got music and media, podcast, and books and all that cool stuff. So you can come check me out there, and we just do this. We talk round table, friends, family, and talk about this beautiful existence that we're in, and we're trying to make it beautiful.
You have a really good crowd over there, Truth. You have been building a community for a very long time. You want to tell us anything about your community?
It's so strange, though. You mentioned that people come and go. Like there's so people, over doing what we do.
Yes, true.
Doing what we do. People come and go. Oh, you support who? Jordan Maxwell. Sorry, I didn't know. I thought you supported Jesus. Well, Jesus
I got in trouble. I interviewed this guy, a conspiracy guy, Jason Burmis, and I'm a spiritual girl. And so I got some flack for that, even though he's pretty famous and I love Jason Burmis.
My people
I got flack.
all over the spectrum. I'm going to talk to a prominent pastor, and I'm talking to a Freemason, 32nd degree Freemason. And they come at me with their, he believes that, no, he didn't say that, did he? He didn't on the podcast, did he? So listen, people come and go, and we gotta be
roll with the punches, babe.
You come while you're here, you learn, you sit down, you partake, you bring something to the table. But if you get offended, anytime you're dealing with religion and politics, it's gonna happen.
And that's pretty much all I deal with.
Me too, right? Less politics these days, unless you ask me, but religion for sure, spirituality. The moment you say that the Pleiadians are bad or whatever, and people dedicated their lives to them, or the earth is flat, you just keep dividing the people down into what Jordan Maxwell would call denominations, money in denominations, and keep dividing the people in denominations. And so I try to figure
the currency of semen.
I try to figure out what we have in common.
Me too.
I don't give a damn what we disagree on.
Yeah, that's why it's so shocking to get like that feedback of, hey, look, you're not going to like it. Not some people might hate Kate Bush, and they will stop watching my videos because I put her in almost every one. So yeah, I totally get that. But you know what? We got to be authentic, and that's what I'm here to. I've already proven that I'm authentic, and I'm going to stay that way.
I totally forgot to say where you could find me. I'm sorry. Let me just jump back in.
Oh, sorry.
I'm on I'm on Twitter at Real Mr. Dank.
At Real Mr. Dank. And then that's TruthSeekah at Twitter. TruthSeekah.
And I'm at
my Twitter sucks, to be honest with you.
Well, I use it.
I'm at
I
Micha
use your
Dank
Twitter
on Facebook and Instagram too.
I'm still not your friend on Facebook yet. Funny.
No, fine. Why?
I don't know. Never saw you on there. I didn't know you had a Facebook.
It's for friends and family.
Oh, you?
Professional. No, his.
Oh, okay. I got it. I understand. Big pants.
Well, thanks for having us. Thanks for hosting this.
I'm so pleased. I'm just so glad it all went off really well. And you gentlemen are classy. Wow. Do I mean it? Yes, I mean it. You've been classy. This has been a wonderful evening. And thank you for wearing black.
Always.
Yeah.
Me too.
I know, right?
I actually wore a shirt today because I knew I was going to be on a podcast with Truth, and I didn't want us both wearing a beater because we did that like twice already. I don't want people to be like, what are they, like, get dressed in the same room together?
Cult leaders.
Oh no, don't even bring that up. This is not a cult. But yeah, dude, because we have so much in common, and even an astrologer might be able to hook us up with why we all like each other, which is fun. I love doing that. So we're gonna sign off, guys, with no music. We're gonna do it raw. We're gonna do it real. We're gonna do it live. So will we all do prayer hands and bow?
Namaste.
Namaste.